Hello everyone. You know exactly what time it is. It is Creator Series time. We are here at 4 o'clock on the dot for the F2, and it is the penultimate round of the F2 season. No Zhou Guanyu this week, but we have a worthy replacement in the championship leader, Unstop Rob, who is back. And we're here for the BAHRAIN Grand Prix. We've seen F1 testing here in the past few days, and we're going to see some F2 cars ragged around and potentially see a championship decided this afternoon. I, for one, am very excited. In the virtual commentary box for this afternoon's action, it is myself, Tom, and I'm delighted to say it is F1 Scott alongside me. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm great. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here back with the F2 guys, which has been such a thrilling event that we've had this season for the Creator Series. It's been so cool to put these people in these F2 cars and just see like how quick they can be and the bits of chaos that we've had. And obviously we had Joe last week as well. Like, how cool was that? It's been a whopping success. I know the Creator Series and EA Sports will be thrilled at how this F2 season's went, and I'm sure there's going to be many more seasons to come.
Absolutely. It's been such fun to watch. And such fun to be a part of as well. We do have some championship permutations to discuss, but things are looking a little bit standard, I have to admit, going into the penultimate round of the season. Do you want to give us a little bit of a rundown of the battles we need to be keeping our eyes out for?
Yeah, of course. So, yeah, let me try that again. First off, Unstop Rob has been quite dominant this season. He's right now up the top, 170 points. He's kind of looking clear, but can't stop yet because Matty D is there at about 142 points. We have Hayden as well. Hayden Gillis, 142 points. They kind of need Rob to have a bit of a disaster. They might be able to get into that top guaranteed spot. Most likely, they're probably in that sort of playoff spots. But Hoodie Pete, Duncan, 64 points and 60 points respectively. About 24 points off F1 Alex, who's in that final sort of playoff spot. We know what's going to happen. Obviously, these top four drivers will be going into the playoffs. Again, a little bit far, but anything can happen in these F2 races, especially with a reverse grid.
Absolutely, and I think, the championship protagonists will be a little bit disappointed they weren't able to capitalise enough on the absence of Unstop Rob last week. Obviously, we saw Hayden Gillis winning the feature race with a little bit of help from Zhou Guanyu. Matty D13 only picking up 14 points with a penalty that proves to be very costly. But difficult results in the sprint race as well. They didn't come through maybe as they would have liked. Hayden got stuck a little bit in some traffic early on. So a missed opportunity perhaps for those guys.
Yeah, definitely. And they might look at the end of the season and go, that was the race that decided it. Because we have to remember, like, these people are fighting for spot into the F1 next year, which is, F2 is obviously an incredible thing that's happened this season, but we've had the F1 for so many seasons. We have some of the biggest and best content creators in the world of F1 competing under this one banner. So this can be your chance to get in that. And that's a great thing about this F2 season as well. And it's not going to be like the real F1, These people have a chance to actually get into the F1 for the next season. It's such a cool idea.
Absolutely. The opportunities are endless, you could say. But we do have some stats that we can have a little look at. Interestingly enough, we have actually been at BAHRAIN on this game. Obviously not part of F2, but it was in F1. And we actually have 5 drivers on the F2 grid this afternoon that were all part of that race back in Season 3. None of them made it into the top 10. Punji was the highest placed finisher in 12th, Matty 13th, 14th, Devil Noob 15th, B-Roy and Carbon Shadow 18th and 19th in that. So not the best pedigree around this track for some of the drivers, but an opportunity perhaps to right some of the wrongs of previous occasions at this race.
Oh, exactly. And it's BAHRAIN, right? I mean, this is a track that you should know. It's the first one on the calendar. It's such a cool track, especially sometimes when we get the nighttime coverage. I know this will be F2, so it might be slightly different, but it's a beautiful track, but it's also a bit hard. There's certain corners, we're talking about turn 9 and 10, that can kind of not go your way. We have some long DRS straights. Very interesting to see what could actually be happening.
I think we could have some really good battles. It's one of those tracks that does give you generally a pretty good race. We've seen that in real life as well, of course. We're going to start off, as we always do, with a reverse, not quite the right word there, reverse grid sprint race. And I have to say, they have been very, very exciting over the course of this season so far.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just so excited, but we are getting to the end of this season. It's very interesting to see what can happen, especially in the reverse grids, the slow drivers at the front. fast drivers at the back. We've seen how some people, especially like Hayden Gillis, just seem to have that consistency to keep getting through the pack week in, week out without getting too much damage. I'm very, very excited to see how this is going to go. Or will this be the chance for some of our people that are starting right up the top? This is it. This is now, as we might see team games, we might see people trying to help each other get into that playoff spot, If I'm in F1 Alex's position, like I'm comfortable, but I'm kind of scared, I'm kind of scared as well with 2 races left.
Definitely, and there's always been a little bit of a trend in the sprint races so far, which is one of the guys that starts right at the front manages to keep that track position and usually ends up on the podium. We've seen G-Watts do it a number of times throughout the course of the season. And then it's usually Unstopped Rob that flies through, ends up about lap 6 or P6, sorry, by lap 3. People asking why Rob is last in the chat. It is reverse grid for the championship standings. Rob is leading the way in that ART. So that is why Rob will be starting at the back for this sprint race.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to test you. We know you're fast, Rob, but can you get through this pack and even get points in the sprint? Because you never know, depending on how good Hayden or Matty do in these last 2 races. That might be the difference between a guaranteed playoff spot, but a guaranteed just straight through into the F1.
And we've had some interesting... It's been an interesting stat, actually. If we cut across to have a look at the action, we can see that Carbon Shadow and Jess Gamer already have been disqualified on the formation lap, so their tyres are going to be incredibly cold. But if we just move our eyes to the bottom of the screen there, we can see Hayden Gullis on the soft compound tyres. That is going to be very interesting.
Very interesting indeed. We'll see if that works out from 12 laps. 12 laps, soft tyres, F2 cars. The tyre wear is quite ridiculous on these cars. And I mean, look, he's better at the game than me, so he must know what he's doing. But I'm looking at that and thinking, is that a mistake?
It's a really bold move. You've got to be very good on your tyres.
Yeah, but that good, I don't know. Like I've done a limited experience on these F2 cars, but you could sometimes be seeing what we think in 6, 8, maybe even 9% per lap in tyre wear, right?
Surely he must be thinking maybe we've got to get a stop in there at some point. Maybe we'll see a safety car. We've seen a lot of them throughout the course of the season. So it's going to be a really interesting dynamic to see how that plays out. Hayden, of course, will be looking to make up a whole heap of places on this opening lap with that tyre advantage, because it is 2 steps softer, of course, soft compared to the hard tyres for everybody else. But yeah, I'm very excited for the start of this sprint race. I think it could be extremely, extremely exciting.
Yeah, I think you're right. Carbon Shadow, Jess, they're going to be regretting that come turn 1, turn 2, all the way into turn 3 with those tyres. Like, that's just going to be such a disadvantage. Someone to mention, we have some of our drivers, especially B-Roy, who has been doing the Bathurst on iRacing for the last few hours. So we'll see if he can bring the talents from that car into the F2 car without a qualifying and see how this goes for him. Wishing him and everyone else the best of luck as they're lining up, ready for the race.
I'm very interested to see the dams there of Only Vic going round the cars around. Obviously, she's maybe not aware that you can just drive through them because they do ghost at this stage. But yes, and well, it's almost like we put the commentator's curse on there because she's been disqualified.
Yeah, exactly. That will just keep happening time and time again. As we're getting ready for the lights, Tom will take us away.
We have a few drivers with cold tyres, but it is Luke Howick that will lead us away with 5 red lights. It is lights out and away we go. The Invicta car pointing over to the right-hand side of the circuit to try and block off the run. Down into turn 1, it looks to have worked. Only Vic with a sub-optimal start as Alex Budd is coming around the outside. We've got an ART car of, I think that's Devil Noobs, charging up the inside. A little bit of contact, though, with the Campos and the Sauber run ART car. And look at TK, I think that was barging his way through in the Red Bull livery car. As the Campos up into 3rd place. No, it isn't. They've swapped, actually, the 2 Campos drivers. It is TK who's actually in the high-tech, got that wrong. But ideal start for Luke Howick, who's managed to stay out in front. Hayden, terrible start down at the back, stays in 20th and last place.
Yeah, exactly. A bit unfortunate for Only Vic and Jess Gamer, both not had the best start. B-Roy up 3 spots, G-Watts up 4 spots at this moment in time. Seemed to be quite a good start as we see an overtake for G-Watts and Carbon Shadow going into this corner, gets on that inside line, very nice, up 6 spots.
Yeah, and Only Vic down 5 spots. They've almost swapped places, you could say, and they're battling over 6th and 7th place, going up into the tricky turn turns 9 and 10 complex, and GWAS going a little bit wide in the Trident car, got it all wrong, has to use the runoff area, avoiding that massive curb on the outside, and drops back behind the Dams car. Not a very good start. We see Rob still down in 20th place, surprising that he hasn't made up a few places, and as I say, that gets past Punch. You've got a cluster of cars battling over 6th here. GWAS can't get rid of only beating Carbon Shadow, and Patterson trying to get involved as well. You can see Devon Butler in the second Trident behind them trying to get involved as well. Olivic sweeps around the outside and gets back up into 6th place there.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I'm looking at the bottom of the field now as well as Punju gets in front of Alex, F1 Alex as well. Very good as we see more overtaking going on in the middle of the pack. Patterson getting involved now with that VAR, getting himself into 7th spot. We have so many drivers so close to each other. Oh, it's all going a bit crazy. Let's look at that. Oh, is there a spin at the back of the field? What is it? It's only Vic. Yes, it's only Vic. It looks like Hayden might have been involved in that as well. Down. Oh, crazy start as we get a virtual safety car, Tom.
Wow, that was very strange. We saw Paul Constantineering up going around the final corner there, and I think it was only Vic that was pushed round. The two Premers almost coming to blows as well. Hoodie Pete has certainly come off best. I thought Hayden had picked up a little bit of damage. Somebody has, well, put the mockers on them in the chat because we said somehow we've all survived. That was a little bit too early to call that one because we hadn't quite got round the opening lap. But yeah, GWAT's in the pits as well, so it must have been GWAT's and only Vic that came together. Patterson we saw in the Van Alsford car with no front wing as well. But we get a little bit of respite to just assess what's gone on. Jess Gamer down 9 places. The big mover, if you like, apart from the guys that were caught up in that incident. Further forward, Zach RC has made up 4 places along with yours sincerely, but it is still Luke Howick out in front ahead of Devil New.
Yeah, exactly. Very good for some drivers, but very unlucky for others. A notable mention, Matty D up 7 spots now in 12th place. He's probably out of the sort of higher pointed guys. He's probably got the most to gain at this point. He'll be looking to get some points. As we all know, he's trying to get as high up as he can to somehow maybe get that guaranteed placement. But, you know, will that happen as well? It's very unfortunate. Only Vic down 16 spots as well. As Luke Howick gets a drive-through penalty. It is the worst mistake he can do as it's all off again. He is unfortunately been too fast for that delta as Alex is getting into 4th place. TK in 3rd, doing very well, coming in at last moments, doing very well for himself. Oh, what about this race so far, Tom?
Yeah, brilliant from TK. Eyes very much alert on the restart, swinging it around the outside of Alex Budd. The Campos dropping down into 4th, although looks like he's going to try and retaliate maybe into what is actually the penultimate corner, turn 14, and then there's a little kink of 15 on the exit, but thinks better of it and is actually pulling into the pit. So is there some damage for the Campos car that has been picked up at some point? Can't quite see it, so it must be very minor, but having a severe effect on the driver. But yeah, Luke Howick is the ultimate sin, really. What a blunder, leading the sprint race. Picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding on the restart, broke safety car protocol, and that is going to end any chance that he would have had of winning this sprint race. Further back, we've got some swapping 4 positions. It's Duncan and yours sincerely. Matty 13 trying to get past the Rodin Carlin car. Teammates, as we've got some coming out of turn number 3. Linus Stern is the Invicta car ahead of the 2 Red Bull livery Rodin and Carlin cars, but Duncan's going to sit behind for now with Matty sat just outside of that top 10.
Yeah, but Zach RC and Carbon Shadow going at it for 5th and 6th place. Carbon right around the outside of that corner, making it very easily done, but Zach will not be happy with that. We'll want to get that spot back, but both cars doing quite well. Very happy to say. Also more consistent, we have Adam Sanderson up 2 spots, doing well in 7th spot. Keeping that position, we'll see how well he can do. But what we need to sort of think about for the rest of the race is that Matty D, Hayden Gillis, Rob sort of 11th to like 14th train is kind of starting. As we can see, look at that beautiful shot. We have all the drivers there, and what a beautiful track that this game gives us, especially with the camera views. As Hayden Gillis actually getting in front of Punju, getting around the outside, getting it done before that corner, makes up another spot.
His teammate Hoodie Pete pulling off a brilliant move around the outside of yours sincerely to move up into 8th place, the last points playing position. But Matty D13, we saw him getting ahead of his teammate earlier in the lap, now still on the offensive as he gets past the Invicta again. Yours sincerely, they're going to try and hang it around the outside, but boxed in a little bit behind that Prema of Hoodie Pete. This is the battle for 8th, 9th and 10th. They could be 3 wide into the final couple of corners. It'll be bold from whoever decides to make it 3 wide. Hayden looks a little bit late on the brakes as he tries to get past the other car of Duncan. Matty D13 caught out a little bit though, as Luke Howitt's got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane while he's trying to serve his drive-through. That is not ideal at all. Will tumble all the way down to the back of the pack. Hayden's almost pushed onto the grass there by yours sincerely, and now there's big contact, and is that the 2 title rivals? I think it is. The two that are chasing the championship leaders. It's absolute bedlam on the main straight. It's impossible to try and work out what has happened there.
That is
Alex facing
crazy.
the wrong way. Safety car called out, of course. What has gone on there?
Alex, 5-second penalty with Hayden. Yep, definitely Alex. Hayden caught involved as well. I think Rob as well. Did he get away? Matty was involved, and maybe Rob got away okay. That's quite intense. They're lucky they've got a safety car. It's going to let them catch back up, and will definitely be needed to look at different strats. While that was happening, though, we did have an overtake for the lead of the race. JD has been able to get the jump on TK and will be restarting this race off in first place. One of our newer drivers into the season is so far really adapting to these F2 cars and is keeping that first place for now off TK.
Brilliantly done by the ART driver. The other ART up into the top 10. No real damage that I can see for the Alpine livery ART car of Rob, the championship leader. And he's seeing his two main rivals, the only two drivers that are going to take the title away from him, pitched into the wall halfway down the main straight. It looked very weird. Hayden was almost pushed onto the grass by yours sincerely as he tried to find a gap on the left-hand side of the circuit. That was firmly slammed shut, and then moved over to the right-hand side. But I think it was Matty D13 at the same time in the road and car moving over as well. And yeah, they just ran into each other, put them both into the barrier, and they are going to have to change those front wings. Rob nearly getting T-boned a little bit by Punju under this safety car, but it does give us a chance to reset the race. Those guys with no front wing will be able to fix that damage and catch back up to the pack. But it is quite the blunder and a huge opportunity now for Rob to take the championship in the feature race that will be coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this has benefited him so much. We can see he's up 10 spots in this race. Oh, wow, they're all coming in. I guess it makes sense, maybe getting onto the soft tyre. We'll maybe see if anyone chooses a medium. But with this many laps left, as yours sincerely gets a 5-second time penalty. This is something we do see happening to quite a few drivers. It is an unfortunate mistake, and it's definitely going to hurt you come the end of this race.
So the top 6 have stayed out. Everybody else has come into the pits. We've got a few people that haven't managed to catch up to the back of the pack yet. I believe that people will chuck on soft tyres. Yes, they do. You can see 0 lap old soft compound tyres. F1 Alex in the pits has put on the hard. It's actually yours to see. It's gone for another set of hard tyres. Interestingly enough, everybody else favouring the softs. So that looks like a little bit of a mistake from the Invicta car coming out of the pits there on the hards. You'd expect yours to get absolutely swallowed up on the restart here by all of these faster cars. Tell me, what do you think Hayden and Matty are going to be thinking here? They've just been involved in a collision with each other. The two people that are chasing Rob for the championship have made a complete mess of it halfway through the first sprint race. How do they approach this now?
Well, first off, they're going to be raging and because of that, because that's just potentially maybe sort of giving Rob the title, and they'll all just have to sort of accept the placements. It depends, you know, like, are they going to have the defeatist attitude right now that this race is over, or are they going to jump back in? They're going to get that sort of that confidence back, get right back into the race. I think the latter. I think they're going to be coming back in, and they're just going to be like, you know what? I'm at least beating you, you know, Matty Hayden will be like, I'm at least going to beat you. Let's get back in this race. We have soft tyres. If anything, the drivers might prefer the soft tyres, so once they get started back up, they might just be like, do you know what, this is so much fun and easier to drive now.
Potentially, and it could be interesting to see how this affects people's strategies for the main featuring.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is the first indication that we can see of where are you going to be, and see if we have an incidents like this, because the F2 cars can get so close to each other, right? So we have a lot of cars more grouped together. It's putting a lot of emphasis, I think, on the one-shot qualifying that we're going to have before the feature race. And I think the drivers are starting to realise this, because this really could be the difference between being caught behind the wreck or away in front, long gone after the wreck happened behind you.
Luke Howick as well, down in 18th. It was all looking so rosy for the Invicta car. Both of the Invicta cars have had a little bit of a stinker. Yours sincerely back into the pits, probably to remove that penalty from earlier on. But yeah, was leading the race, was pretty comfortable. Had Devil Noob and TK coming up behind, who have looked pretty quick so far this season. Just a mistake. It's easy to do, but you do feel a bit stupid when you've done it. People do it very often. We've seen it a lot this season so far. So yeah. And then picking up another penalty. It's just gone. Sometimes when it rains, it pours, and that's just obviously what happened here. It's not his day.
Yeah, but you're not a real racer unless you have got to drive through it while leading the race and throwing it all away. Like, we've all been there. It's going to happen to you. It just, we always think we're careful, but the delta in this game, especially around the slow corners, especially if the virtual safety car is restarting, can be absolutely brutal. And sometimes it's more wise being maybe like a second in the green of the delta rather than really sometimes testing it to try and get that 0.3, 0.4 sort of area that you look, because it can just go straight away. There you go, drive through penalty, right to the back, and now you need another safety car, which in this sprint race with another 6 odd laps left, I don't think you're going to get another.
Absolutely. When you are playing with such fine margins, the tiniest of mistake is going to be so costly, and that's what we've seen, unfortunately, and now down in 70th, because you're sincerely coming back into the pits for a set of soft compound tyres. That is interesting to know. Obviously wanted to have the tyre offset to everyone else by a couple of laps. You can see GWATS with 2 lap old tyres, everybody else with 1 lap old. You're sincerely giving up track position. Also, though, to get rid of that penalty. So a reset. The Invicta cars, who were looking pretty strong at one point, now 17th and 18th. And they've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're sincere. It's a bit unfortunate. I mean, yes, he's going to have tyres that are a bit better than everyone else's, but, he's in 18th place, and, he's got no ERS in these F2 cars. You just need to rely on the DRS system, which, is strong, but it's not as powerful as the F1 cars get, for instance, because they've got both of them. Very interesting. I don't know. We're seeing some weird strategies. I'm curious about the top 6 being on the hards to everyone else being on the softs. Sometimes it's the play to not have to do a stop, but have they made a mistake? I'm leaning towards yes, but they also could be like, right, we just need to take a chance here, get as far as we can, and hopefully that the hard tyres just last.
Well, track position is important up to a point, of course. There are only 6 cars, and you'd expect, they've got some quick people at the front of that queue of soft runners. Adam Sanderson has shown some flashes of real pace throughout this season and can definitely make his way through and potentially pick up a podium by the ending of this 12-lap sprint race. You've got Hoodie Pete, who's been pretty consistent as well, pace-wise. Duncan, obviously championship leader Rob, will be licking his lips at potentially getting back on the podium. It didn't look like it was going to be possible. We're still down in the bottom 3 or 4 places after the first 3 laps or so. So not ideal. Who are you going to be watching, though? I want to point out TK first, because pace last week was very strong in Portugal. Pace here in Bahrain looking equally as strong.
Yeah, I was speaking to TK and he says it himself. He says he's okay on the F1, but for some reason on the F2 cars, he's just sort of finding this extra competitive pace and really putting himself up there. And you can see it. Like, yes, he started a bit higher, but he started in 5th place and he's kept that consistent and got to 2nd place as we see the safety car coming in for this lap. So that will be the start of lap 8. We'll have about 5 laps left of the race. It's going to be very interesting to see how bad those softs get worn. I don't think they get worn enough. I'm worried if I'm on the hard tyres, Adam Sanderson could be in for an absolutely shocking podium result if he plays his cards right. He could be nailing this right now.
Backing the pack up, not everyone has caught up to the back of the Snake, so the guys at the back are going to be feeling a little bit of pain on this restart, you would imagine, but it is Devil Noob in the Alfa Romeo liveried ART car that will lead us away for lap number 8 as we come over the start-finish line, and it is himself leading the Grand Prix ahead of the high-tech of TK, with B-Roy sat just behind him as well. Carbon Shadow, though, on the move straight away, battling away, and they're almost 3 wide into turn 1 in the battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Carbon Shadow has got past both of them. Brilliant start. Only Vic has already dropped behind Adam Sanderson. We've got some swapping of positions further back as well, but Carbon Shadow getting up ahead of B-Roy. Zach RC still in 5th, and then it's Adam Sanderson who's going to be looking so racy at the start of this restart. As I look at this for the lead of the Grand Prix, up the inside, little look from TK, thinks better of it, stays behind Devil Noob for the time being. It only looks like a matter of time really before the high-tech takes the lead of the race. Adam Sanderson back ahead of Zach RC and looks so much quicker than these cars. Look at the difference in grip for the Trident compared to the Campos that we're looking at. It's only going to be a matter of time. Look at the grip on the exit, flies past B-Roy up into 4th place. Will the Campos try and send it up the inside? Very nearly contact as they meet at the apex, but it is Adam Sanderson up into 4th, looking like the favourite at this stage. Who would have thought it?
Yes, and it did all go a bit wrong. I think it is Alex or Patterson at the back. There was a spin there going into that corner. Very unfortunate, as we see only Vic in a little bit of a battle as well with Hayden, who has doing well. He's getting up the spots. Rob is up another 2 spots. He's into 8th place now. We do have Adam Sanderson doing very well, nearly in that podium spot. These soft tires might be the right choice. As we see F1 Alex getting into that 12th spot as well, with G Watts getting very close. Only Vic's just tumbling down the order, sadly. Very unfortunate for her. But wow, what a restart. These cars, they can go so close together. As we see Hoodie Pete going around that inside, gets that 6th place. It's B-Roy. Oh, it's very unfortunate. As we see him at the back of the pack, I think he's got damage on the wing. Will we have another safety car? No, I think it's just going to be a yellow flag. It's going to be the end of his sprint race. Very unfortunate for him, as Matty D getting into 9th place as well. He's doing his best with Hayden Gullis, but right down the back, there's like 4 or 5 cars within a quarter of a second. This is so intense, Tom.
Overtakes all over the show. You can see this cluster of cars battling just behind the top 4. Hayden up the inside has got up into 7th, now sits behind his teammate who battles away with Rob. Almost contact on the apex of turn number 3, and the Pramas could be swapping places as we get up to turn number 4. I wonder if Pete's going to fight this too hard, because Hayden has got a potential championship to think about. This has been an excellent restart from the Prema up into 6th place now. Rob into 5th. Adam Sanderson and Carbon Shadow battling over 3rd and 4th. Surprisingly, the Trident hasn't got past, although you can see Carbon Shadow sliding out wide. The MP Motorsport car struggling for grip. Was there contact there? I think there was. Rob says thank you very much as he's later on the brakes, but he clatters into the MP Motorsport car. Allows Adam Sanderson to potentially get this place back. There's more wheel banging and a bit of a slide for Carbon Shadow on the exit of turn number 8. They're going to battle down into turns 9, 10 and 11. Potentially a little bit of an over-ambitious move from Rob up the inside, but it's Carbon Shadow that falls off the racetrack, and all of these guys are going to say thank you very much as Adam Sanderson and Rob and potentially Hayden Gullis fly through.
Definitely. Sadly, we've seen Duncan spinning out and going right to the back of the field on that lap as well. Very unfortunate, but Rob is up as Hayden gets another spot up on Carbon Shadow. Rob is up 16 spots. Hayden is up 13 spots. This is quite insane just how consistent these two have been this whole season. And now we're on lap 9 of a sprint race, and look at them. They're right at the back. They're looking at Adam Sanderson, who's doing incredibly well. He's up 6 spots. This is going so well for him to get probably the most points he's got, but can he keep Rob and Hayden behind him? It's a very tough ask. They are our championship contenders. It looks like he's going to be under a little bit of threat as we have DRS enabled. You do not want to be Adam in this moment of time going into turn 1. It looks like he's going to lose 1. He might even lose 2 spots as they've both gone 3 wide, essentially. No. He stays back a little bit as Rob gets 3rd spot, but they're all so close to each other, Tom.
Oh, and Hayden's pushed off the road a little bit there by Adam Sanderson. You'd expect with the DRS, the Prema's going to get past the Trident fairly straightforward, but actually doesn't really have the overspeed. He's going to have to use the late braking prowess of Big Guns Hayden Gullis to send it up the inside. We're on board now with the Trident, and that looks fairly straightforward. And up into 4th place goes Hayden. He's got to chase after Rob, keep the ART in sight, because they're going to catch the leading duo at a rate of knots. Further back, Carbon Shadow managed to hold on to a couple of places after losing out to Hoodie Pete, but is embroiled in a 3-way scrap, we can see here, with Matty D13 and F1 Alex around the outside. The Van Alsfort car, look, there wasn't a gap there. That allowed the Carlin of Matty D13 to send it up the inside and assume 7th place. F1 Alex looking for that final spot inside the top 8 point scoring positions. And a little bit wide again through turn 9 and 10 for Carbon Shadow. Opens up the Van Alsfort car to take that 8th place very nicely indeed. We could see a swap between the MP Motorsport cars, both of whom have stayed out on the hard tyres, looking to be the wrong decision. But Rob and Hayden have already caught the leaders, and Rob's on the move trying to go around the outside of TK through turns 11 and 12, swaps to the inside, a little bit of a dummy you could say, as he sends it up the inside. TK not going to have a lot to fight with, takes a little bit too much curb on the inside there, and there's contact, a little bit of a squeeze on the exit from the high-tech car. I wonder if TK got out of shape a little bit, and that's what put him into the path of the ART. Rob is going to sit behind, is he? No, thinks about a move again up the inside into the final couple of corners. Not a lot of room on the apex. Respectful racing. Hayden trying to sniff around and get involved as well. Bit of a slide on the exit, pushes Rob off the optimal line and puts him into the path of Hayden. They're going to battle down into turn 1 as well. Hayden looking for a gap. He's already crashed on this straight, and he's done it again. He's put Rob into the wall. This is crazy, crazy stuff. As now it's the other Prema of Hoodie Pete trying to get involved to get up onto the podium. Devon Butler, Adam Sanderson involved as well. Hayden, or Hoodie Pete in fact, clatters the bollard on the inside, loses all of the momentum, but the championship rivals clatter into each other again, and it's Hayden at the front of it.
Absolutely mad scenes. We've seen these F2 races become very chaotic at times. You don't like to see that on a straight. I'm sure the drivers will want to take a look at that again as we're in lap 11. It looks like Hoodie Pete has just been able to get the jump on Rob. It might have got some damage. Definitely going to have put a bit of a sour taste for his race. But Adam Sanderson and his round is very unfortunate. It's just not went well for him. He'll need to come back in the feature race and see what he can do, especially with the one-shot qualifying. But Adam Sanderson has got this podium spot, doing incredibly well for himself. Devin Butler, as we all know from the game, doing so well. He'll be very proud of this result if he can keep it going. I'm looking at F1 Alex TTV. He's the last person that's in that playoff spot right now to have a chance to get into the F1 seat, and he's in 7th place. He's getting some points. He needs to make up as much as he can as Matty D gets in front of Hoodie Pete, but they are slowing each other down, and F1 Alex behind will be looking to try and get any extra points he can. It could be the difference. It could be the difference between him being in the playoffs or not being in the playoff, as G Watts gets a 3-second time penalty as we're coming into the final lap of this race. Very excited to see what happens. Hayden Gullis getting into 3rd place, putting Adam Sanderson down. Tom, we've got a cracking final lap left.
Well, Hayden's spirits certainly haven't been dampened. He's not very popular in our chat at the moment for some of his driving that has been on show, but he does get up into 3rd place, although Adam Sanderson is going to try and retaliate with the use of DRS down into turn number 1, the Trident on the inside. But going wide is that TK going off at turn 1. Hoodie Pete's got in way too late on the brakes as well. TK dropping down into 4th. Hoodie Pete going well wide into the runoff as well, and Hayden finds himself up into 2nd place after holding off the assault from Adam Sanderson into turn number 1. Hoodie Pete dropping down into 7th, so while one Prema moves forward, the other steps backwards, and now it's going to be Devil Noob versus Hayden Gullis for the win in the sprint race, and he's all over him coming through the start of the 2nd sector here. Surely it's only a matter of time before the Prema gets ahead of the ART. Devil's done a brilliant job since taking over the lead after the blunder from Luke Howick early on, and letting a little bit of contact. Hayden is a little bit messy, it has to be said. He's not driving with the utmost respect for some of his colleagues, it has to be said, but he's going to try the switcheroo up the inside into turn number 10. Will this be the lead of the sprint race for him? His driver's looking over to the ART car on the outside, makes a little bit of contact, but look who's there to try and pick up the pieces. It's Adam Sanderson.
Yeah, exactly. Looking to get as much of a spot as he can, as we have a yellow flag for Sector 1. We have a car going very slow there, but Hayden Gullis looking to get the leads of the race. But can JD hold on? He's done so well for the whole race. He's on those older tyres. They will be screaming to just be stopped at this point, but he's not going to do it as he tries to keep on the outside line. It's going to come down to the final corner. Will JD be able to get the DRS back onto that final stretch before they finish track? It's going to be so interesting as JD's coming back, and the inside, he's going for it, round the inside, but he messes it up, and Hayden gets in front. He might even lose another spot as well. That is so crazy. It's Hayden Gullis is going to take the lead of the end of the race. Amazing.
5-way drag race up to the line behind Hayden. He was in the wars. He's not won a lot of plaudits from some of the contact that has been made in the race, but he does win the sprint race from the back of the grid. Devil Noob, it was a brilliant drive, but just didn't have the tyres at the end. The hard tyres would have gone off the cliff. Somehow, though, look at the deltas there. Manages to hold on to 2nd, half a tenth ahead of Adam Sanderson, who picks up a very commendable podium finish. Further, just under half a tenth of a second, back to Matty D13, who we didn't really talk about right at the end of the race. Comes home in 4th. TK will be so disappointed. The win was very much there. Came 100th of a second behind Matty D13, and then F1 Alex in there as well, a tenth of a second behind. 5 cars over the line, separated by 2 tenths maybe. That is a crazy finish, but it is Hayden who has won. I don't think he's made a lot of friends potentially with some of the driving that has been put on display there, but he has won, and for the time being it is going to be 8 points.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll look at that after the race and they'll come to their own conclusions. Right now, we'll just be getting ready for our one-shot qualifying and our feature race. Intense, okay? We have seen drivers go for moves with these cars that maybe would work a bit better with the F1 cars and come out very well. I'm very curious to see what happened on the straight when we had that incident, because that was a bit intense, to be honest. You don't usually see cars going into the walls on a straight line. Like, fair enough. Like, what just happened? That is just mad. I honestly, what a mad race. Hopefully the feature race isn't as crazy and chaotic as that. If it is, and you said it as well, TK, I feel gutted for TK. He had such a good opportunity to get more points there, but JD also done very well. I think they should be proud of themselves. I really do.
So let's just assess what went on behind, because we haven't actually spoken about this. Just under 2 seconds and separated by 30 milliseconds were Yours Sincerely and Hoodie Pete completing our points paying positions. Yours Sincerely did actually pick up the fastest lap as well for his troubles. Rob ending up just outside of the points in 9th, ahead of Punju, then the 2 MP cars on the hards that tumbled back after the safety car. Alex Budd, Jess Gamer, Luke Howick, G-Watts picked up a penalty late on. Duncan fell through the field a little bit after the safety car as well. Only Vic Patterson and B. Roy. There's a lot of debate going on in the chat about what we've seen. I think we've seen somebody say that it was one of those game things where you just get caught on the side of the car and you're unable to get off each other. So if that was the case, then it's obviously not intentional. We're not saying it is intentional. It is a very clean drive, but yeah, not ideal stuff, it has to be said. We'll have to wait and see how things go in the feature race, where they'll battle each other, probably with a few less cars around them, because they should be towards the front of the field. But yeah, that was an interesting one. Probably the most infamous F2 race we've had so far. Some controversial talking points that we can discuss maybe in interviews later on this afternoon. But I don't really know how to sum it up, to be honest.
Yeah, a bit crazy. If anyone's got clips, you can share them in the Creator Series Discord. Let us see different perspectives. You'll be able to get to a different outcome. Also, you can follow the F1 Creator Series, especially on YouTube, but they are branching out to YouTube. We have Instagram, we have X, and we have TikTok as well, at F1 Creator Series. We want to see these moments. We'll be able to evaluate them on social media throughout the week until the next event. And you get involved, guys, because that's what makes this event so special, is you guys tuning in, getting involved into these races. I've seen some comments throughout the chat asking for people how could you possibly get into the Creator Series. Well, first off, being a creator of F1 content will help you, and also just getting yourself involved in the scene. And who knows, in a season or two, you could see yourself in this F2 race, in the F1 race with the big guys as well. It's such a cool experience that Dark and Razin and everyone else have been able to put on. It's one of the coolest things I've seen since I got into F1, and yeah, anyone can be a part of it with enough effort. So get involved, get sharing it, get the love, because these guys are putting on amazing stuff that no one asked them to do, and giving us content on a weekly basis.
And obviously, it's all for fun at the end of the day as well, so we don't need, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the practice start that they're all doing, taking each other out, like an F1 Open lobby that unfortunately we're not showing you at the moment, but it is chaotic, believe me that. But yeah, it's all just a bit of fun at the end of the day. We can have these controversial moments that I'm sure people will have differing opinions on, but yeah, it's all a bit of fun at the end of the day. We don't need to take it any further than inside this race weekend.
Oh yeah, exactly, right? It's a bunch of fun. Like, these guys are amazing. They've given up their time on a Saturday. Looking forward to some good racing. Sadly, we had a few incidents there, but, fair enough. We're going to have that. It's F2 cars. You have to remember, you have to give these guys a bit of leeway. Like, it's not often we put people into an F2 league, which I love, but these cars are so different. I recommend anyone watching, see if you've not driven the F2 cars yet. Give it a little trial around time trials for a few laps of your favourite track. And you'll see just how different and how almost slow they feel. They don't look slow when you're watching them, but when you're driving them, they do feel very slow. It's a very different experience. It's not a fast sort of aerodynamic way. It's more mechanical, as TK always says.
Absolutely. They're so different to the F1 cars. I remember when I first jumped in them, the difference in grip, first of all, is night and day, really, and takes a lot of getting used to. When you switch back from F2 to F1, they're so different, but it's a unique challenge, because obviously normally you wouldn't necessarily drive these cars too much, because not integrated too much into the career mode at the moment. Obviously you've got the online stuff that you can do, so we don't necessarily get too much of a chance to see F2 racing. Obviously in real life it is amazing, sometimes better than the real life F1, and some of the battles we see are incredible. So it's we've taken the incredible fun you get in F2 in real life and just locked it inside the Creator Series.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's so cool. I love this. Week in, week out, we get this amazing content. We will have a break from the F2 next week, though, getting set up for our final track that will be the week after. It's going to be very exciting, but we will be getting into our one-shot qualifying soon. Who are you looking at? Like, Rob, it's kind of now or never if he really wants to just end this right today. Like, he can end this today. Hayden, obviously, and Matty D don't want that, but like, if there's going to be incidents like that, like, this might just be Rob's, right? Like, this is just Rob's.
Unpredictability is the word that we always use to sum up our sport. So anything could happen. We saw that in the sprint race. I mean, everyone, I think, got involved in a collision at some point in the race, barring maybe TK and Devil Noob. I want to keep my eye out for TK. Showed really good pace last week in Portugal. Was right in there for the win, of course, in the sprint race there. I think he's going to be towards the front. Obviously, your usual suspects are going to be in and around there. F1 Alex Championship leader Rob, Hayden. Who am I forgetting? I hope Matty D13 is going to be up there. Punju as well has picked up a few podiums. Currently sat inside the playoff places as well. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. It's a cool concept, right? That we're given the sort of playoff opportunity at work. So like the top 4 drivers, obviously the top 5, first guy gets automatically through. The second, third, fourth, and fifth, they'll go into a competition with the bottom guys in the F1, and that is going to be spicy. Like, that's going to be so spicy. I'm waiting for that, when there's going to be something on the line, like literally. You know the season end is coming, but when we get into this, it's going to be absolutely crazy. Every second's going to count. I'm so excited. It's such a cool idea. And I just like, who will we potentially see coming into the F2, right? You know, who might not make it in the F1? It's like, I'm so in for it.
And there's the revenge arc, of course. We heard it spoken about last week with Hayden and Dirk Chocolate, the potential switcheroo that we could see that Hayden is gunning for. But yeah, I'm so excited for that. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how that works. But from the future, we are now going to turn our attention to the present, because it is almost time for a one-shot qualifying session.
Yeah, exactly. Now, some of our not slower drivers, but drivers that are maybe near the bottom of the field, they're running out of chances to kind of make a name for themselves as well. You know, solidify their statement into this F2 calendar. They're going to need to be pulling out a big result here. I'm looking at people like B. Roy, got very unfortunate, ended up at the back of that race. Can he jump back with this one-shot qualifying? I know he'll be putting a lot of hope on it. Will he get through? Can he get a top 5, top 6 kind of start? It might be the difference between some good points and less points, depending on if everyone's a bit more cautious this race. We might not see the same carnage. You never know.
Absolutely. I think caution might be the word we need to talk about. And we have to, speak about Adam Sanderson as well. Was very, very impressive to come home in 3rd place. Had some really good pace. Benefited from other people's instance, of course, but you've got to be there to pick up the pieces at the end of the day. I would expect to see Adam definitely inside that top 10. Track limits around this track they're not too much of an issue. We've got to be careful of turn 4, of course, which is where we've seen a lot of people going wide in real life. Apart from that, not many places. You've really got to be quite lazy, to be fair, if you're going to run out wide. So we shouldn't be seeing too many disqualifications. We should be seeing a fairly representative qualifying order. I know that I have just said that, and I'm probably going to jinx it entirely, and we're going to have one of the big guns at the back. But, touch wood, fingers crossed, we'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to just add turn 2 on to that as well, because turn 2, like, I have track limits at turn 2 a lot, okay? Maybe that's just my problem, but yes, when you're trying to get in as much speed as you can after that tricky turn 1, it can all go a bit wrong for you sometimes. We'll see. Will anyone mess it up right in the first couple of corners? They'll be gutted, because this is going to be a very difficult field. If you're invalidating this lap, I don't think you've got much of a chance in this race.
I mean, what I would say about that is we've seen that it's not exactly difficult to go side by side with people when you're racing around this track. Maybe slightly too side by side into a few corners or on a few straights. But the racing, we weren't concerned about the lack of racing actually we might get, and we certainly weren't disappointed by what we saw. But I think we are getting ready for one-shot qualifying.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be banging as we're coming back to the night time in Bahrain. We will be doing a one-shot qualifying to determine the order of the feature race, and then that will be at the end of our F2 event after that. This is it, really. This is it. This is the final chance. This is Rob's chance to secure this championship, so that you will definitely see him in F1 next year. It's looking likely that will be the case, but honestly, we've seen crazier things happen. If he DNFs this, gets no points, and DNFs the next weekend sprint and the feature, he might not be able to get points. It's definitely all to play for. As we are actually off on the way, we're going to see all the names going absolutely crazy. But right now we have Patterson in the lead coming into turn 1.
So obviously running slightly lower wings than everybody else around them, looking for people that are in and around the top. It's obviously very hard to read it early on. Rob, though, as per usual, towards the front. We're starting to see a few people as we come up to the end of sector number 1 get into their place a little bit. Patterson's actually dropped down a little bit, unfortunately, down into 14th in the Van Alsport, but everybody flicking around. But there is one constant at the moment as we come through the first sector split, and it is that ART of Rob out in front.
Exactly, it's a name we do see a lot, but F1 Alex, that's very interesting to see that he's up there as well. He needs to get these points. He's in that last playoff position, and if he can just be dominant in Bahrain, it might just put an end to the playoff championship. Like, it might put an end to it if he just gets it. Oh, that's very unfortunate for him. He's going to be the first driver to invalidate his lap. Very, very bad to see. 20th place, going to be a difficult. We see Matty roughly 6th place. Punju, 4th place. He's been a bit quiet this weekend, but that's really good to see. Love to see him up there. He can get some good points as well if he's lucky. Matty 6th, Hayden 7th. They're usually quite similar, but Rob seems to just be absolutely dominating. But look at this. JD Devil Noob seems to be up there. Again, it's not just the reverse grid. He's up there.
Absolutely, and currently sat inside that top 3. Who's going to be concerned as we come up to the final couple of corners? Hayden, only 6th, will be a little bit disappointed. Adam Sanderson, like we predicted, sat just inside the top 10. Hoodie Pete maybe a little bit down the order. It looked like Rob went a little bit too wide coming round turn 15, but still out in front for ART. Is the championship leader going to take pole position? Yes, by just under a tenth of a second ahead of F1 Alex. TK retiring over the line. That's a big name who'll be starting towards the back of the field. But the weeks change, but it is still the same ART starting at the front.
Incredible. What a great result for Rob. Look at that, 141.6. A 10th, basically a 10th in front of everyone. Amazing to see, but Alex, this is so good. He's in that 5th spot. What a great result. But Punju, I'm very proud of as well to see up there. JD 4th, Matty 5th, Hayden 6th, Luke 7th, trying to get some sort of rebound from the drive-through. Alex 8th, G Watts 9th, Adam Sanderson 10th, not too shabby for him. We have Duncan in 11th, B-Roy 12th, Hoodie Pete 13th, 14th for Sincerely, then Patterson, Jess Gamer, Carbon Shadow, Only Vic, TK, and Zach RC at the bottom. Very, very unfortunate. As we will take our beautiful faces off the screen and we will get ready for this main feature race. Tom, are you ready?
I am so ready. It's interesting what we've said about F1 Alex, because in a really, really rich vein of form recently, it has to be said, was very competitive out in Portugal last week, was competitive the week before as well. So the Van Alsport driver definitely can be classified in that top group of drivers. Maybe if the season was a bit longer, would be challenging a little bit more for the potential automatic promotion spot. But yeah, with the pace that he's displayed, should have no qualms at all about finishing inside that top 5. It should be fairly straightforward from here. Punju in 3rd as well, showing a good turn of speed as well. And like you said, Devil Noob up in 4th place as well, continuing the strong pace shown in that sprint race.
Yeah, like he's just came into this halfway through a season, and I'm now starting to ask the question of if he was here at the start of the season, would he actually be one of these contenders? Judging by his results so far, he'd been there or thereabout, maybe in that 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Like,
yeah, only taken past in the last two weekends, picked up 8 points in each, of course. Actually won the sprint race on his debut this season. Won the sprint race in Austria a couple of weeks ago, and then picked up a handful of points in the feature race as well. So yeah, definitely some pedigree there. We've seen him, of course, in the F1 series as well from time to time as well. So yeah, definitely should be a fixture towards the front.
Yeah, very happy. He'll be buzzing as well, hoping to get a similar result in the feature race. It's all coming down to this first lap. As we see the drivers, they're just about to start their formation lap. Let's see if anyone messes it up and has to start with cold tires. But Rob, like, what can you say? Like, it takes moments like this when you're that close to winning a championship. It's that moment where you're either going to fluff it or you're actually going to come through and actually take the points. He is qualified first. That is a statement. It's his championship. In my eyes, If he doesn't do it in this weekend, it'll be because of his own mistakes, because he's definitely got the speed, he's got the skill. And if I'm F1 Alex, I'm just saying to myself, look, don't fight with Rob. I need these points, even if it's second. If it's first, it's first. But if it's second, I need those points. I need to get a bit further away from 6th and 7th and just make sure that there's no chance I'm losing that final playoff spot.
We have had a bit of drama on the formation lap there. We didn't catch it because it was right at the start, but B-Roy and Adam have had a little bit of a tete-a-tete at the start of the formation lap, so their hard tyres are going to be extremely cold. The majority of the field, as you can see, on the hard compound tyres. We do have a few people, though, on the softs, and they're interestingly spread around. We've got Matt D13, one of the perennial contenders for the race win, you would imagine, come the end of the 16-lap race, on the red striped soft tyres, as well as Alex Budd and G-Watt sat in 8th and 9th respectively, and Duncan sat just outside of the top 10. Then Zach RC, who had a bit of a blunder in qualifying, down in 20th on those soft tyres as well. Very interesting to see what happened. Obviously, this is the first time that we've had the soft and the hard. Usually we've got compounds that are just one step apart, like soft or medium and hard. So this time we've got the 2-step difference. And that really throws a spanner in the works strategy-wise.
Yeah, exactly. But if a safety car comes out early, this could be really good for Matty, you know. This could be really good. He has a good chance to get the jump into the top podium straight away if he just nails this with the tyres. Early safety car, he gets onto the hards or something, it's going to be in a great position. It's interesting, more people are thinking that the hards is probably the way to go. It's interesting, right? Because it's Bahrain, it's F2, it's 20 drivers, it's difference of tyres. Like, there could be incidents here. Like, will they come to regret this? I don't know. If I was in this race, I would maybe be thinking that the softs play, especially for Matty and Matty's sake, because I think he's guaranteed the playoffs. He kind of just needs to go for it and try and get Rob kind of like just gone as far away as he can. It's still very hard to ask, but we see the drivers lining up. Looking forward to this. Should be a brilliant race.
Definitely. And with the leading contenders already out in front, they'll be left to scrap amongst themselves, and I'm sure we will see some exceptional racing. And look at the positioning of our front two on the front row. Rob pointing all the way over to the right-hand side. I'm surprised he's not been disqualified for that level of parking. And Alex, not exactly doing something dissimilar, pointing all the way to the left, although slightly at a reduced angle. So I think we can work out what their plans are going to be off the line. But we have almost got everybody lined up on the grid in their various parking positions. You can see a variety of different angles up to the grid box. We are getting ready, though, for the feature race here at the circuit of Sakir in Bahrain, the penultimate round of the F2 season. It is 5 lights and away we go. Terrible start, it looked like, for F1 Alex from second place. Matty D13 using the soft tyres immediately to jump up into the top 3, but they've swapped positions, the leading 2. On the left-hand side is now Rob. We've got a car charging up the inside. This contact, I think that's Devil Noob that's been spun by Hayden into turn number 1, and the ART dropping all the way down to the back of the pack. Brilliant start, though, for the soft tyre shod Rodin Carlin car of Matty D13. Started 5th, could be challenging for the lead as we go 3 wide up the hill into turn number 4. Rob should have this covered on the inside and does. F1 Alex slipping down into 3rd place, but look at the exit that the Carlin car's got. We've got a yellow flag, but into the lead of the Grand Prix we go with Matty D13, swings it up the inside and into the lead, and we have a virtual safety car. Wow, that was very interesting.
Wasn't it just JD? I was actually on board with him on his actual viewing that he is seeing. He just gets spun. He went for the inside of the corner and then just ended up doing the 360. Got hit right in the back. Nothing he could have really done. He'll be gutted about that because that was a great qualifying for him. As we see Matty D up 4 spots into the lead of the race. Well done. Those soft tyres, that's the advantage you need, and he needed to do that because not everyone that was on the soft tyres has been able to do that. We see G-Watt's up 2 spots on the softs. Alex just staying the same on the softs, and Duncan up another couple of spots with the soft tyres. So they're using them to their advantage. Not exactly at the same level as Matty yet, but wow, quite insane start. The virtual safety car should be all off in the next 20-30 seconds, we would imagine. But B-Roy also down 8 spots has having a dreadful Bahrain at this moment in time.
Absolutely, you can see the winners and losers on the left-hand side there. B-Roy down 8, Devil Noob down 15, but Matty D13 up 4, using those soft tyres to his advantage to lead the feature race after the opening lap. Up 2 places for Luke Howick. Oh, there's a contact there. I was just talking idly there. Matty D13's picked up a penalty for speeding under the safety car, but Rob has gone straight into the back of him. What has gone on there?
I have no idea. I think Hayden might have got damaged there or something. That there was like, I saw a bit of a wing come off. We'll see who's going slow. I think G-Watts as well maybe was involved in that. Alex and Matty D have picked up a drive-through. It's not the end of the world for Matty because of his placement, as we have nearly 3 wide going down there. You're sincerely in Shadow fighting at Adam Sanderson, Hoodie Pete fighting for the race as well. This is dreadful for Alex, though. He's in that 5th playoff position, and this is not what he needed for only one track left to go in the season.
Well, this is not the safety car restart that we were imagining. Rob, you can see, has definitely got a bit of damage there as he went into the back of Matty D13. If you, we didn't quite see who else was involved, but if you think it was Hayden, then well, you would think it because he's dropped back a little bit from the cars in front and has got G-Watts all over the back of him. Luke has dropped a few places as well. We're getting a few messages that it was Hayden that forced Luke Howard off the circuit at the final corner, and that would explain why the Invicta cars dropped from 5th down into 8th place. Duncan trying to make the most of the soft tyres as well after starting 11th up into 9th, and will continue to assault the drivers around. But yeah, Hayden under pressure from G-Watts in the battle for 5th and 6th.
Yeah, definitely. Also hearing that Rob might have damage as well, as he's losing Matty a little bit. He is still in that 2nd spot, though. It's not going to be a fun race for him, but if he can just race it out with the damage and keep these sort of spots, hopefully it's not slowing him down too much, he might still be able to cling it out. We have G-Watts getting very close though to the back of Hayden, maybe thinking of making a move. Hayden going a bit defensive there, but G-Watts is going for it down the inside. Will it be long enough? Braking late. Hayden not relenting as well, doesn't get through, actually slowed down a little bit, and Hayden keeps that spot but goes quite wide as Matty D gets the fastest lap of the session so far. 1:45.7. Alex coming into the pit, he's serving that drive through, and he needs to just hope that there's a safety car now.
Attack to defence almost instantly for G-Watts, who's now coming under pressure from Alex Budd into turn number 1. Hayden's caught up to the back of Punju. Looks like he's made a little bit of a mistake somewhere because the frame was certainly not that close to the back of the Dams car. Just behind them, though, G-Watts holding off Alex Budd's assault into turn number 1 with Duncan sat just behind them as well in 7th. And then it's Luke Howitt ahead of Adam Sanderson and Hoodie Pete completing our top 10. F1 Alex, as you said, picking up that unfortunate drive-through penalty, dropping down to 19th place with B-Roy in the box as well. Zach RC, brilliant start on those soft tyres, just got past TK, who's also made a handful of places up, but around the outside goes the High-Tech, trying to hold on to 13th, and does a very commendable job of it to stay ahead of the Campos car, or the MP Motorsport car, sorry, and that is Devil Noob behind, getting past Patterson, who falls off the circuit as well.
Yeah, but very close racing we're seeing up at the top. Hayden trying to get the jump on Punju as well, got a nice release off that corner. Is a bit faster, may not make the move yet, but he might know. He's staying behind for now. If I'm Punju, I'm a little bit worried in that position. We do have Alex very close to the back of G-Watts as well, and also bringing Duncan along. Luke Howick did lose a few spots. I think it was Hayden and Luke Howick that had the incident. He's lost a few spots now, not been the best weekend for him as well. He needs to watch out in case Adam Sanderson's going to start to make a challenge on him, but Adam has to watch out for Hoodie Pete as well behind. It's all almost settled down, but we do see Alex going for a little look, but not deciding to go for it. But Hayden on Punju for that podium spot, that's what we're going to have to be keeping our eye on for the next few.
Matty's in, relinquishes the lead of the race to Rob. Punju up into 2nd place, although it could be brief because Hayden's got the helping hand of DRS. And on the run down into turn 1, the Prema has a little look to the inside. Thinks better of it, but Punju, what's going on there? And now he gets clattered into by Alex Budd. We've got a safety car. I have absolutely no idea what happened there. Did the safety car came out before?
JD and yours sincerely, 17th and 18th, have basically just went into each other twice. Once during the race and then seconds trying to get back onto the track. They came into each other again. They're both coming into the pits right at the back of the field. They're not having a good day, and that is, I think, what has caused the safety car.
Really confusing instant, though. With, as yours sincerely retires, I believe that is in the pit lane. So, yeah. Not a good day for the Invicta driver. But yeah, Punju's been T-boned and dropped down into 8th place. I think it was Alex Budd who made contact with the Dams driver, but I'm not sure what was initiated it. Hayden was obviously up the inside. It looked like Punju just went a little bit deep, came back onto the circuit came back onto the racing line, as the safety car was called out, and then just got clattered into effectively by Alex Budd. I don't think it was really anybody's fault. It looked just like a bit of a misunderstanding. But yeah, that is. We've had some strange incidents, haven't we?
Yes, definitely. It's been a bit sloppy for most people in Bahrain with the F2 cars. We'll certainly see them come into a bit of a challenge here. Notable mention would be TK up 9 spots, started 19th, currently in 10th. And we'll see if he does any sort of tyre change at this moment in time. But if he doesn't, that's a good advantage for him. GWAT's up 6 spots, Duncan up 7. TK we've already mentioned. Carbon Shadow up 6 spots, decent, not to the same extent, but still decent. But Matty D, Alex down 14 spots. Those drive-throughs have just been absolutely brutal for the two of them. I feel sorry for them. It's very unfortunate. It's very easy to get a drive-through in this game.
Absolutely, and it's just some weird occurrences going on as Hayden's is actually going to pull into the pits for a new set of tyres. I think Rob's in as well, so I would imagine everybody is. Rob's now got a penalty for speeding in the pits. This is crazy, crazy stuff. I don't think anybody else picked up the same penalty. Soft tyres, it looked like, for the Prema there. Punji's got the penalty as well. I am so sorry because I have cursed that. Staying out though, Adam Sanderson. Staying out in the lead on the hard compound tyres. Hoodie Pete stays out as well in the second Prema car, along with Carbon Shadow, Patterson, and Jess Gamer, and Only Vic actually, moving up into 6th place. Behind them, Hayden chucks on a set of soft tyres, and it's a little bit of a mix as Adam Sanderson's been disqualified. What is going on? Ignoring yellow flags. I'm not sure what that was for. Oh, it must have been overtaking under the safety car, but...
I think he's overtaking the actual safety car.
Has he? Oh.
I think so. You only get like 3 seconds to give it by. It's a very quick thing if it happens to you. I've had it done to me. I've seen it done before. It might not be the case. If anyone can correct us with that, then please let us know. But I think that is what's happened. Nothing usually gives that quick. Because I feel like if you overtake in the safety car, you might just get a penalty if the timer goes down instead of the automatic disqualification. But yeah, that game said to him to overtake the safety car, and then when he did, he got disqualified. So sadly, we've just had a little bit of a flaw there. That's very unfortunate for Adam. I know he'd be a bit gutted with that. He's had a good Bahrain, and it's certainly not what you want to see. But for Hoodie Pete, at the other side, it's quite good for him. He puts himself into 1st place now, and he's looking at a different race.
From the highs of the sprint race to the lows of the feature race, and it's a disappointing way for Adam Sanderson's race to be cut short. But like you said, Hoodie Pete now takes over the lead of the race. We've got around about a 50-50 split of soft and hard runners. The big boys that we've got to look out for, most of them are on the soft tyres. They're going to be trying to make up for that pit stop. Hayden is the lead runner, of course, in 6th place. GWATS and Duncan going for the hards, and then Luke Howick, Punju and Rob, both with those 5-second penalties we have to bear in mind as well on the softs, as well as TK. And this has really brought TK back into a great position, actually. Got him with some of the leaders. I think some of these guys that did stay out are going to come into the pits again. We've got a little bit of dummying going on. You like to see it. And I think that's Jess Gamer and Only Vic that do actually decide to peel off into the pits for a new set of boots. 10 laps to go. The complexion of this race has completely changed. Who is now your favourite? It's a very difficult question to answer, I admit, but who would you now say is looking good?
I would say Hayden Gillis is in a good position. He's in 4th, right? He's got some new tyres on. Oh yeah, he's probably getting rid of that penalty or changing his wing, one of the two, because we did hear he had damage. So maybe he gets a chance to fix that. Maybe he does like a 9-lap thriller to try and get right back up to the top spots. It's not looking good for his championship weekend. Very chaotic. F1 Alex as well, he's going to really need to push hard and try and secure that 5th spot. He has like a 20-point sort of gap, but that can go very easily, especially if he doesn't get many points today. So it's Hoodie or Carbon, we're thinking, for maybe a win. That could be good. Hoodie or Carbon, they're in a great spot, 15 spots up specifically for Carbon Shadow. Can he keep it up? It's just we do see how quick Hayden, and especially maybe Matty's kind of down as well in 12th. It's all a bit mixed up. Our fast runners have a lot to do now.
Absolutely. If people in the chat want to give us one name that you're going to be looking out for, especially on the restart, and we'll go through those because not everyone has caught up to the back of the snake yet. But yeah, interesting stuff. We've got that difference in strategical gambles from Punju and Rob. Both had those 5-second penalties. Rob's decided to clear that, put on a brand new set of soft tyres, drop down to last place, give up the track position. Punju, I think, obviously feels like he can make up those 5 seconds by staying out and staying away from the traffic. So differing opinions there. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out come the end of the race. Carbon favourite, yeah, Carbon could be looking pretty good. Hoodie Pete has some great pace in the sprint race as well, so we're going to have to look out that. Patterson up there in 4th as well, and then it is Hayden who will be licking his lips, I think, on this restart. I wonder if we'll see some tactics between the Prema drivers.
Yeah, we might see, I've got a funny feeling we're going to see a lot more before the end of this race. I'm sure us and everyone at home probably agrees with that. I'm going to be personally looking at JD, who has been very fast. He's had a bit of an unfortunate race, gets spun right to the back of the field, but now he almost gets a chance, right? He's not fighting for a title or promotion because he came in too late. But what he's wanting to do is he wants to embarrass, overtake as many drivers as he can. He wants to get himself right back into that sort of top 6 just to show, like, yeah, okay, you watch out for me next season. So I'm going to be looking at him, see what he can do. I feel like it's going to be a very fun end of the race for him.
Well, while we've got this last lap under safety car conditions, we've had the request from Adam to come into the commentary booth. So if we could just bring him in very briefly to have a little discussion about what has gone on there.
Do it.
We can see what Mr. Devon Butler has to say about that.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Did you see that?
No, well, what we saw, we caught the very end of it. It looked like you just very barely overtook the safety car and got disqualified instantly.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So I stayed out, obviously. Everyone else went into the pits. I thought, you know what, boxing for softs right now, especially because it's F2, you've got to box under normal racing conditions or else you get disqualified. So I was trying to play the game in that sense. So I stayed out, and then if you look at my screen, it said pass the safety car. I was like, okay, fine, I'll pass the safety car. And then it gave me a 2-second countdown. It was like, oh, you're disqualified. I was like, what?
Oh,
such a shame.
Brutal. It's actually brutal to see. I've seen it happen. It's a feature. It sadly caught you today out, and you know what? It ruined a good race because you've been looking strong all through this whole event.
Yeah, I mean, one-shot quali didn't go my way, but yeah, I mean, we were fighting for the lead, the win of the sprint race, and I thought I was in a strong position hard until about lap 10 or something, pit for softs, and then it would have been strong till the end, but. Yeah, it's one of those things about this game. It tells you to do one thing and then reprimands you when you listen to it.
Yeah, exactly. Adam, thank you so much for that. We actually have the restart of the race going in there, 3 wide. I appreciate it, mate. We'll talk to you soon. We have Carbon Shadow going into first place. Hoodie Pete trying, getting into third place. Patterson wants that at second place as well. Hayden right behind him on soft tires, trying his best to get into that podium spots. We see TK and Punju losing a couple of spots, nearly 3 wide. Tom, this is getting a bit crazy as G Watts gets in front of Hayden, but he's fighting back.
Worst start possible for Hoodie Pete, dropping from first down into what was briefly fourth and now becomes fourth again as Hayden comes through on the soft compound tyres. Carbon Shadow taking the lead of the race. He'll have to wait and see how quickly Hayden gets through, but I think Hoodie Pete might get swallowed up a little bit by the pack on those older hard compound tyres. G Watts and Duncan sat nipping at the heels of that second frame, but it is Carbon Shadow that leads ahead of Patterson, and then Hayden all over the back of the Van Asphalt car, who goes wide over the curbs onto the runoff area, and all of his Christmases coming at once for Hayden in the middle of February, up into second place, and I think it's going to be first very shortly as we come down the straight into turn number 11. Up the inside we go with the Prema. Is Carbon Shadow going to fight it around the outside? Yes, gives it everything he's got, but not got the grip in the tyres, and through goes Hayden, and that is the ideal start from fourth up into the lead.
Yeah, exactly. Those tyres certainly doing the work now, but we might see a drop-off near towards the end of the race, and that might come back to regret Hayden. We don't know, but he's going to just try and get away, get out that DRS as quick as he can. As we see B-Roy with a 3-second time penalty. Unfortunate. Going down to the back to Rob, our championship leader at this moment in time, 13th. On the recovery race, needs to get every point he can. Oh, contact, very close. Driving between Robin and G-Watts is gone and retired, and that might even be another safety car as we see a bunch of people coming into the pits who just got there. I cannot believe Rob was able to do that without getting a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That was one of the most insane pit entries I have seen. He must have been to the actual mile per hour. That is mad, but what great timing for the championship leader to get in just as that happens. He's going to get around. Hopefully he doesn't get stopped too much throughout this sort of outlap that he's doing, and he might even gain some spots if he's lucky.
Absolutely, and yeah, a very, very late call, but it worked out. I think Zach RC picked up a penalty for running into the back of Rob on the entrance to the pit lane. But wow. Hayden has the lead now. It'll be interesting to see what the guys on hard tyres do. These guys have got to stop again. So you'd imagine that Carbon Shadow, Patterson, Hoodie Pete, who had a bit of a train behind, was struggling a little bit there on the restart, will come into the pits as well. That will elevate TK, who started 19th, let's not forget, up into 2nd if these guys come in. Already an achievement getting up into 5th so far. This has been brilliant stuff from the high-tech driver. But fantastic recovery job after a disappointing one-shot qualifying. But yeah, we lost GWATS on the exit of the final corner there. I think got a helping hand around. I'm not sure who it was by. There was a big cluster of cars behind the second frame of Hoodie Pete, so wasn't able to catch who it was that tipped the Trident into a spin, or it could have just been a little bit too ambitious on the right foot maybe for GWATS. So we'll have to wait and see what comes of that. But yeah, is this the 3rd safety car? I think it's the 3rd safety car.
It is the 3rd, as far as I'm aware. I think we had a virtual and 2 real safety cars. As far as I'm aware, it's been a little bit safety car central here for this race. Yes, Gareth, you're completely correct. Esports F2 Safety Car Series on board with Tom Wilkinson and F1 Skull. We're here for you guys. It's been one of those races. What you have to remember is this is a very difficult challenge. The cars can do so much together, but they're so difficult to drive at the same time that it's only a matter of time before this intense 7-car group race. And what's happening?
Oh, everyone's dived into the pits. There's some overtaking going on in pit road. Alex Budd picks up a penalty. We've got about 10 cars that all decided at the exact same time they wanted a fresh set of boots, and it got a little bit messy. I think the Carlin cars swapped places. One of them's going to have to queue. I believe it's going to be Matty, which is unfortunate for the championship contender. This could be his race run in the title battle. Going to fall all the way to the back. You can see how slow the pit crew are. Matty is surely going to be right at the back. Rob should probably come through.
This is it for Rob. Look at this. Look, is Rob going to get the jump on any of the drivers here because he got that early safety car? It's going to be close. This is really good. Look at that. Look at that. He's up to 9th. Might even get 8th. He's got 7th. He might keep it. No, he's had to drop down to 8th. He just got out for 8th place. He was in 14th there, Tom. He's just gained 6 spots. Our championship leader, potentially the fastest driver on the grid at this moment in time, has just gained 6 cars due to a safety car. Like, this is back on.
I'm not sure what's gone on with Duncan there coming out of the pits. Went off the road at turns 2 and 3, lost a load of places, and is going quite at a quite sedately pace, and is actually under pressure. Jess was having a look up there, staying behind for now, so not quite sure what's gone on there. Thank you everybody for watching so far. We've got to lap 10. Remember, obviously we've got a long way to go, of course, but by the end of the race, we want to get your thoughts on who your driver of the day would be. That's going to be an interesting debate. Who would you say so far?
It's very hard to see. Like, Hayden's done very well, but he's obviously the bad boy at this moment in time, so I don't know if we can say TK. Look at that, 17 spots. If he's able to keep this up there, then he is driver of the day. He has the same tyre wear as Hayden, Luke, and Luke behind him either side. 5 lap old softs. He is driver of the day if he keeps this up, because that is incredible. He's almost done a last to first.
Luke is also a very good shout as well from the guys in the chat. Managed to avoid all of the escapades that some of his rivals have been going on throughout this race. Currently sat on the podium. We'll be looking to try and hold on to that place as well. Only Vic and Carbon Shadow also residing in 4th and 5th. They can stay there, as Adam Sanson, we've just been told, has retired from the session at the bottom of the screen. Interesting stuff there. I thought he was already disqualified. Into the pits comes somebody. I'm not quite sure who it was. We'll see. It's actually a Devil Noob into the box from 12 for a new set of tyres. But yeah, as we wait for everyone to catch the back of the queue, we are going to go racing probably at the end of this lap for the 3rd time. And I would imagine, or I would hope, fingers crossed, that this is the last safety car we get.
Yes, I imagine so too. And also, everyone, do not worry. We have many, many more hours tonight of amazing quality entertainment. We have the F1 event that's coming right after this, 6 p.m. GMT. I'm guessing, we've only got 5 laps, so it'll be basically 5-10 minutes right after this show. You will be joining Gareth Allen. We'll have TK as well, who will be coming onto the co-coms for the F1, and we'll have Sapitron on the clipbook as well, giving you guys all the greatest entertainment that we can for F1's mystery event. We don't know what it is. The drivers don't know what it is. We have a stacked lineup for F1 tonight. It's incredible to see it, just how many amazing content creators that are doing this. It's going to be so good. You do not want to miss that. As we have JD spinning on the track, just as I was talking, I just left the camera on him. He is on the grass. He is losing the rest of the field. The safety car might be coming in this lap, and I don't know if he's going to catch back up. But yes, from 6 p.m. GMT, do not miss the F1 Creator Series. It will be a full qualifying and 100% race with some of the biggest and best stars in F1 content scene in the esport world, whatever you want to call it. I'm so excited to be here. Tom, what a great event we've had so far.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. It's been incredibly exciting so far. I think it's going to continue to be for the final 5 laps of this race. It's been probably the craziest F2 race so far. I'm trying to think. Monaco was pretty crazy. Austria as well, if I remember, was a bit of a crazy one also. So yeah, we've got some contenders up there. This well, it could go down as race of the season. We've had so many controversial moments, so many safety cars. It's been, I think everyone's been in pretty much every position at one stage in the race. TK certainly has after starting 19th. Only hasn't got up to first place, although there's a few laps still for the high-tech driver to get into the lead of the race. Justice for G-Watts, I agree, was looking very, very solid in the Trident Sat. I think it was 7th place before the incident coming around the final couple of corners, so disappointing for G-Watts, and it is no points for the Trident team, of course. The safety car has stayed out. Everyone except Devil Noob has caught up. I would imagine the safety car will come in this lap, and I really don't think the ART driver is going to be able to catch up. But let's just let's look at where some of the big guns are, how much work they've got to do on this restart. Rob in 8th. Going to be difficult to get up to the podium. Got to try and salvage as many points as possible. It is a damage limitation, really, for the current championship leader, because Hayden, obviously in the lead of the race, and with the pace that the Primoz showed, you'd expect him to stay at least on the podium, but probably win with the pace that we've seen. Further down, Punju 11th has been in the wars a little bit, but has managed to clear that penalty from earlier on. And then if we go down, F1 Alex and Matty D 13, they were 1st and 3rd at the end of lap 1. They both had drive-through penalties though, and have not managed to recover so far with the various safety cars that we've seen. 15th and 16th for those guys as well.
Yes, indeed. Not been a good race for them at all. Hayden Gullis, 5 spots up. He'll be the guy that we're looking at to probably win this, unless the newer tyre guys can get any sort of advantage. We're finally getting from the race control that the safety car will be in this lap. Zach RC will be looking to continue his rise up from the top. He's 11 spots up in 9th place. Let's see what he can do. Can he challenge Rob in front of him? Rob down 7 spots. Been a rough race for Rob, to be honest. He has damaged out the most of it, as far as we're led to believe, but still doing very consistent for him. Good to see. B-Roy trying to make a few spots, trying to get back to where he was. Alex obviously Matty down a lot, and JD is just having one of those races. He got spun in lap 1, turn 1. That wasn't his fault, and then in this safety car had an incident. As we see Hayden Gullis slowing up the pack, getting ready. Almost has went a bit early, gets a bit of a jump on TK, nearly already 7/10 of a second. I wouldn't want to be TK in that moment. He's going to have to really put the pressure on, as we have Hoodie Pete getting a little jump as well. Carbon Shadow getting a jump on Only Vic, but Only Vic also not giving up yet, coming into turn 1. Will there be any carnage? Hopefully not. We're looking at it on board, and everyone goes almost 4 wide at some point. There was just 2 people right at the inside. What is this? It's crazy. Like they didn't even try a turn. Oh. What are they doing?
Oh my day, it was Rob sending it up the inside of Hoodie Pete. There was something that went on under the safety car. They were swapping places. Rob has managed to get ahead of the second Prema. Hoodie Pete trying to protect his teammate, but unable to hold on, and a massive slide coming through turn number 4 as well for his troubles, and dropping a couple of places you would imagine as well behind Alex Budd in the Campos car. Not sure what happened further back. I think it was the road and carling car of Duncan, who had a little bit of a half spin going through turn 3, dropping down into 15th place, unfortunately, but out in front, almost a second's advantage for Hayden Gullis, out in front ahead of TK, Luke Howick, Carbon Shadow, and then only Vic with a little bit of a queue of cars behind that Dams.
Yep, as Rob makes another spot into 6th place, gets the jump on Patterson. F1 Alex and B-Roy having a little bit of fight down 11th, 12th as well. We have a bunch of cars at the back here. B-Roy losing out a couple of spots, sadly, as Matty gets in front. Will there be anything going on as Rob gets another spot into 5th place? He's using these tyres to his advantage. He's going for it. He needs to try and catch the back of Carbon, but those 4 cars ahead, they're kind of losing this pack. Rob's going to have to give it everything. He's not got many laps left to do it. But if anyone can do it, it will be him. But Hayden Gullis just getting away from TK at this moment in time. Very unfortunate. Looks like a little bit of move being made from Alex Budd to try and get the jump on Patterson. Will they touch? No, very close, but they keep it safe as Alex gets the jump on Punju as well.
Brilliant restart, has to be said, from F1 Alex, up into 10th place. We saw only Vic losing 3 places in the space of about a corner and a half, going from 5th down to 8th. You would expect the Dams probably to lose a few more. Out in front, 1.3 seconds. I think Rob went a little bit deep into turn 1. Doesn't affect him too much. We've got a big gaggle of cars battling over the final positions inside the top 10. It's Hoodie Pete ahead of F1 Alex, then Punji, Matty D13 trying to recover as well, but they make contact into the gravel. Goes the road and carling car, manages to keep it out of the wall just about, but loses a handful of places in the process, dropping down into 14th. Hoodie Pete gets caught up behind Only Vic. That allows F1 Alex to try and get involved as well, get up into 8th place potentially, challenge the Dams car. Hoodie Pete dropping down into 10th. Unfortunate there. A little bit of contact maybe between the Prema and the Van Amersfoort. No, the orange and black car getting in front for the time being. We'll now challenge the blue and black car up the inside. We go with Hoodie Pete. Only Vic goes wide. We're almost 3 wide going into that corner. I think F1 Alex has come out on top. Yes, he does. Manages to avoid the 2 cars making mistakes around. Brilliant driving from the Van Amersfoort car. Takes 8th place and now can charge off into the distance. Ahead of the cars in front, we've got Only Vic, who I think has been spun round there, going into turn 10.
Yeah, very unfortunate. We do have a yellow flag. There will be no safety car at this late time, unfortunately, for the driver. Yep, Hayden Gullis, 2.5 ahead now. Cannot afford to get into the DRS. If he lets TK get into the DRS, it's probably game over in that regard, you would imagine. Carbon doing well to just stay at the back of Luke Howick as well. Not making a move at this moment in time, but might be thinking about it, coming to this final corner, or maybe just wait that DRS, get the DRS, get the extra speed. Yeah, just decides to stay behind. Everyone's spreading out a little bit. Been a good restart all round, but we have seen some carnage and a bit of chaos. We definitely need to look back and see what happened to that restart at turn 1. There was 2 cars that were so far to the right of the track that there was no attempt to ever be able to turn. As Rob sets the fastest lap, a 1:44. He's gaining. Carbon Shadow goes for that move, gets the 3rd place right now. Will Luke have anything to say on this next straight? I imagine not, because Carbon Shadow seemed to absolutely nail that overtake.
Up onto the podium, and 2nd place certainly in the offing as well for the MP Motorsport car, because you can see TK in the high-tech only just in front of them as 1 Alpine livery car drops out of the top 3. You'd expect the driver in the ART, the 2nd Alpine livery car, to try and close up and avenge his junior team partner, although that's obviously not a thing at the moment. Still some squabbling going on further back. Matty D13 and Punju having a royal scrap with B-Roy over the 10th place position over the curb. I think that is B-Roy getting out of shape, and now Zach seeing the MP Motorsport car is going to put pressure on the Campos of B-Roy coming through turn number 9, coming up towards turn number 9, sorry. Are we going to see the Fernando Alonso move up the inside? No, we are not. Thinks better of it. There's definitely the opportunity to be a little bit ambitious on the brakes, but thinks better of it. Further forward, Rob trying to get past his twin Alpine car. Is it going to be 4th place? Yes, it is. Thankfully, they painted this one a little bit more than they painted the real-life Alpine car. Rob up into 4th place. It's been a brilliant recovery. Could still finish 2nd, which would be an amazing achievement considering everything that Rob's gone through in this race.
Yeah, exactly. He's done incredible, but that's why he's been the dominant driver in this season. He is the best in the F2 car, and good on him. We like to see it. He's had a lot of adversity, but he's now in that DRS, the 3rd place, so he's looking for a podium. And we'll need to look at the math afterwards, but this might be enough to just secure the championship. I'm not too sure, but Hayden, obviously in 1st, is going to put a little bit of a threat to that. Matty D's not really. He's down in 10th place. Rob sets another fastest lap. This is his race to do. As Carbon tries the overtake again into second on TK. What has TK got to say about that? He's trying to do that outside to inside line. He has to just stay back, but he will hopefully get a bit of DRS here and be able to make a move coming into the start of turn 3. Will he do it? He's getting blocked. He's done his one move, but also, Rob getting the jump on TK. They slowed down way too much, and Rob was able to get the jump there. He moves into the podium spot, and honestly, right now, he's looking for a second place. Can he do this? Can he get to the back of Carbon? And even so, can he get to the back of Hayden? Probably not. We have one lap to go as we have a lot of lockups there. Hopefully that didn't ruin anyone's tyres that little bit coming into the last couple of sectors of the race. Rob doing absolutely incredible, showing that he is the man that will be taking that F1 title, you would think. That F1 placement spot going into next season. From the get-go, he's been an incredible driver. He's always in that area as he goes for the inside, gets that overtake on Carbon. Brilliant. He is just absolutely crazy. Hayden will take the win of this race, but Rob in second place, he's probably our championship winner now. Incredible.
Yeah, with 33 points, I think it is, or no, it's going to be 35 points on offer in the finale. Rob probably won't clinch the title now, but he's in a very good position. Overcome adversities. We've got a yellow flag. I think we've got a car around. It's B-Roy in the final sector. But Hayden Gullis, it's not been easy for any of the leading contenders, but it is the Prema driver that's going to come out on top. He's done everything he needed to do, wins the feature race ahead of Rob. Carbon Shadow just over the line, holds on to the final spot on the podium ahead of TK and Luke Howick. And the Van Alsford cars coming home in 6th and 7th. We've got scraps all over the line here. You can see Hoodie Pete and Matty D, Punju, were very close. We've got some damage actually from those cars at the back. Only Vic going to come round in 16th ahead of Devil Noob, who failed to catch up to the back of the pack. I'm not sure what's gone on with Devil Noob off the circuit there in the end. But it is Hayden who takes home the maximum number of points. But very, very good damage limitation driving from Rob, coming home in second there.
Yeah, he's incredible. He really has. If it's not been absolutely secured today, it is a mountain that people need to climb. You really just would have to have a terrible weekend coming to the final one of the season. He's just been great. And it's great to see it. It's great to see him and his community getting so involved, doing well. It's really good for all round. He has jumped onto this F2 series, not knowing what it was going to be like, and is absolutely steamrolling it at the minute. Even when he gets damaged at the start of a race, he still comes back and gets a second place. It's incredible. It really is. He should be very proud of himself. Hayden is definitely for the win as well. Hopefully we can maybe hear from some of our drivers post-interview scheme. We'll see who we can get. Because we've got some things to talk about.
We certainly do. Going through the rest of it though, we saw Carbon Shadow and TK almost side by side over the line. Carbon Shadow holding on to a podium, very, very well done in third place ahead of TK. Brilliant recovery for both of those guys after a difficult qualifying. Luke Howick in the top 5 ahead of the 2 Van Amersfoort cars. Matty C13, that's probably championship over, you would say. Hoodie Pete and Punji round out the top 10 ahead of Alex Budd, Jess Gamer. Duncan had a little bit of a messy race. Zach RC, B-Roy, Only Vic, Devil Noob didn't actually, he retired, but ends up classified as a lap down. G Watts, yours sincerely, and Adam Sanderson. That is your race. And if we can get some live championship updates, that would be very, very appealing. But it is Hayden who takes it, but it was second place and the fastest lap for Rob to very much keep him as the favourite going into the finale.
Yeah, incredible. Like, looking at how many points Hayden kind of has to get on Rob, what is that? That's like 38 points between them from Portugal. So from the sprint and the feature today, like, it's very hard. Matty D, very unfortunate for him as well. Punju and F1 Alex, I feel like Punju's kind of secure, but I think F1 Alex has done enough. We'll need to take a little look at that. What a great race. There was certainly some parts of it, the race, that weren't so great, and I'm sure I will look at all that. It's definitely, remember guys, if you've got your clips, we want to see clips from different POVs, get it in that Discord, and you'll see it circulating the World Wide Web, alright, for the next week. And you're just going to all get your comments in, and we'll see who was wrong, who was right, and all that kind of stuff. Get involved, get creative with it. These drivers, they're just trying to have fun, provide great content for yourself, so no hate to anyone as well. We don't want to see any of that. We just want to see love and support. And well done to all these content creators. Again, giving us a banging piece of entertainment in F2 on a Saturday afternoon. I'm just thrilled to be here.
Couldn't put it better myself. Before we get into our interviews with what I think should probably be our top 3, although we could probably speak to everyone if we had the time to, of course. Who is your driver of the day? And if people in the chat also want to put out who their driver of the day would be, I think I've got to go for Rob. So many issues in the race. Contact, front wings, penalties. Had to overtake a lot of cars, but came back through brilliantly to get that second place and fastest lap. But shout out to Carbon Shadow as well for picking up what I believe is the first podium of the season.
Amazing. But yeah, it's Rob, right? It's Rob, driver of the day. But I can tell you, we do have an interview. And we do have the man himself, Hayden Gullis. We will hear exactly what he's got to say about that. And I don't know about you, Tom, but I'm very excited about that. Shall I bring him in?
Let's go on then. We'll bring Hayden in to see what the race winner has.
Hayden.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm for some reason I'm feeling really, really good.
We're good. How did that race go for you?
Right, sprint race, mental. Don't know how I won that one. And then good strategy, I think, on the second race. No practice either. I think I jumped on for like 3 laps, grabbed a setup, and I definitely didn't have the pace today. I think I just was good at coming through the field, and then I nailed the strategy in the feature race. But very happy with that. The championship's back on.
Tom, what are you thinking?
Well, we've got some live updates from the standings, and it is only 16 points going into the finale. It's still a little bit of a mountain to climb, but you have won the last 2 feature races. Out of 10, how would you rate your chances?
Still, I'd say a 4 or 5. It's still very much Rob's to lose. 16 points is still quite a lot, especially with the point system. And he's an incredible driver. Came through the field. I thought, this feature race, I'm going to gain a lot of points here. But he was just able to nail it and come through the field and just be really, really strong. So, it's still definitely in his hands at the moment. But I'm going to be pushing all the way come Saudi to try and take it off him.
It's so cool to see that we will actually have a proper championship fight for that final race. Saudi, is this a track you're confident? Have you even tried it in the F2 car yet? What are you like in the F1 car there?
Not touched it. I always enjoy it in the F1. I feel like I enjoyed it on last year's game compared to this one. I don't know if I've done this one. Creative Series. Yeah, I think we've done maybe season 3. We had it as like one of the finales there as well. And yeah, I was okay. I was pretty decent at it. I don't know how it's going to work in F2. I think I'm going to be nearer the front, but so's Rob. Hopefully it can just be a really, really tight fight between us. But sadly, if it is, it means that I'm probably not going to catch up in the championship because I need to catch up a lot of points. 5 points isn't going to do it between 1 and 2. So hopefully Rob has a bit of a stinker again on some strategy choices. Or crashes into me on the straight and breaks his front wing, and we can be cooking.
Well, we have to ask you about the most contentious moments of the afternoon. I think you did you have contact with both of the championship rivals? You definitely had it with Rob. Did you?
I did in the same place. In the same place, yeah. With the one with Matty was definitely on me. I hold my hands up. That was my fault. I thought I was clear, but his front wing was still aligned with my rear tyres. And as I went to move out of the slipstream to try and go up the inside of both yours and Hoodie, sadly, we just made contact. And at that point, I was round, he was round, and we were both very lucky not to DNF. With Rob, I need to watch back his footage to see what happened, but I was very much on the left. Whether he had my car on his screen moved over to the right and there was contact on netcode or whatever, but we just kind of got attached and then we flew over to the right, but I was as far left as possible. But just happy to come out of that with, I had sidepod damage or floor damage, but luckily it doesn't affect the car too much, and we were still flying on the new tyres.
Really good, really good.
Incredible. Well done, Hayden. Like, you got through it. You definitely had some adversity there. Crazy race. Like, for us to watch, both races were absolutely a bit mental. But all these F2 races have been. It's such a cool concept. We're putting you into cars that you don't really understand fully, putting you through some difficult circuits, and then we just get to kind of shout about it. So I don't know about you, but I know we've had a banging race.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I was really so shocked that I managed to to get the race win in the sprint. It was up and down throughout the race. Contact with both championship contenders. I think I had a little bit of contact with Punja at one point as well, but it's just been mental, but an absolute joy. And I think everyone's still, getting along well and really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying this fight with Rob. He's an excellent driver, and whoever gets that automatic promotion is going to do a solid job in F1.
Exactly. And are you looking forward to the sort of playoff programs? We're getting closer to that time now. Even if you don't get that first place, it's definitely looking like you at least be one of the drivers that are going into it. Is there anyone you're setting your sights on? You looking forward, or are you just taking it one race at a time?
Well, I'm confirmed for it now. We've definitely
Amazing.
locked ourselves in last week. But yeah, I mean, if I am in the playoffs, I have one target, and that's Dirk Chocolate. I want to take his seat. I want to take his Red Bull seat and wave him down to F2 and say, "See you later, buddy. Enjoy."
Tom, what did we think about that?
I think it's the perfect revenge arc story. It would be very funny to see. I'm so looking forward to seeing how the playoffs work. But yeah, that dynamic's going to be interesting.
It's going to be good fun.
Amazing, Hayden. Well, do you know what? Thanks so much for jumping on. It's been a pleasure to speak to you. Enjoy the rest next week when we don't have the F2, and we'll see you back for the final race, and we'll see if it all goes absolutely chaotic. And because hey, who knows? You could easily walk away with this win. No,
who knows?
Rob needs to touch wood. Hayden, thanks so much.
Well, thank you very much, guys. Thank you everyone in chat, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Take care. Tom, what an event we've had, right? And we're hearing it from Hayden as well. He's just happy to still be in one piece and getting some points. And 16 points? Tom, 16 points going into the final race? That's a lot closer than... I'm just not good at math. That's a lot closer than I thought.
It is a huge mountain to climb. Let's not get it twisted. The advantage that he's managed to pull over this race weekend is 12 points. So that was the swing this weekend. Rob had a catalogue of, not errors, but a catalogue of incidents that he was involved in. So, yeah, I think Hayden's going to have to hope for a bit of a miracle. Matty D13 is not out of it, I don't believe. Actually, no, I think maybe Countback would rule Matty out of the title fight. So, it is a two-horse race. One of those horses is at a disadvantage, but everything's to play for. Saudi can be a little bit wild. Obviously, Hayden spoke about it season 3. That was the championship fight between Tom and Tim at Marduk in the F1 series, and that went down to the wire. It was a crazy end. We had about 3 safety cars, I think, in the last 15 laps or so. So anything could happen. Rob's got to be the favourite. He's probably had the pace over Hayden this weekend as well. Just needs a clean weekend, and he'll be getting that promotion.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you're in Rob's position, like, you've got all to lose. So, like, how are you going to go into this final weekend playing it out? You will be starting at the back on the sprint race, because we all know by now it is the reverse championship order, a great feature that they're doing. Does he just try and avoid trouble? Does he try and get points in the sprints? Does he leave it all to the main feature race when he gets to qualifying? It's really all on him to sort of lose, If he just stays clean and gets a consistent spot on both, doesn't need to win, doesn't even need to get on podiums as far as I believe, just get some consistency throughout the sprint and the feature, and just keep it boring, like, he wins, If he goes for it, if he tries to get that wins, if he tries to dominate it on style, making sure that he beats Hayden on track. Like, we've seen it before when championship rivals on a final race, when stuff happens, you never know what's going to happen coming down to that final race.
Well, I think most of us will say don't be too aggressive, you've got it all to lose. But I think with the way that the reverse grid races work, you can't be too cautious either, because if he gets bogged down in loads of traffic, Hayden manages to get through, wins the sprint race with fastest lap, that's 9 points. Rob, outside of the points, that's 0. That's now gone from 16 points down to 7, and that's looking a little bit sketchy.
Yeah, it really is. It's quite crazy. I do love to see it. I'm buzzing for this Hayden versus Dark Chocolate playoff fight, if that's the way it's going to go. Obviously, guys, keep tuned for F1 that's coming, because the bottom drivers from the F1 will be fighting these amazing drivers that are getting and securing their playoff spot. You're going to have some big names coming together, and these F1 guys, they've got everything to lose this time. The F2 guys, they've got nothing to lose. They've got everything to gain. They've got themselves that opportunity to try and steal the seats off the F1 drivers, who are not going to be happy having to come into a different car and relearn it all. They'll still be honoured to be involved in this amazing event that we're doing, but car-wise, they want to be on that F1 car, because that's the car they know.
I think those guys that do end up coming down will find it really difficult to get back up, because we've seen the talent pool so far is incredible. You know, we're gonna have some very fast people that don't get promoted. You know, ID13 might not go up. F1 Alex, Punji, they might not go up. They're going to be challenging next season, of course, if they don't go up again. Just to reiterate what Gareth said in the chat, Punji and F1 Alex haven't confirmed their playoff places, but it is looking good. The gap is 29 points between 5th placed F1 Alex and 6th placed Hoodie Pete. It's pretty much confirmed. We know who's going to be in those playoff places. It's just down to, like you said, who ends up being in those bottom places for the F1. There's a few different candidates. Obviously, Dark Chocolate has got a target on his back from Hayden. But yeah, we could be seeing some shocks in the final couple of rounds.
Yeah, exactly, and we're going to be here lapping it up again. Just so happy to be putting this good energy out to the world, guys. We hope that you enjoy these Saturday daytime / nights that the Creator Series are giving you. It's an amazing network of amazing people, and we want to hear what you think, what we can improve, what you like, everything like that, and contact us on social media. I'm going to say again, on YouTube at F1 The Creator Series, Instagram F1 Creator Series, X/Twitter, whatever you call it in your home, at F1 Creator Series, and of course TikTok, we're branching out as well with the at F1 Creator Series. Please get involved, and also get involved in our Discord. !Discord should bring that information up for you in the chat. Be able to get involved, get announcements first before they happen, and potentially even see yourself in one of these cars for next season. Because I think we can all safely say that this is not going anywhere, and it's given amazing drivers and also commentators like yourself and Tom. It's given us great opportunities to get involved into this whole scene, and it's just a network of positivity and just amazingness.
And also get involved in the Twitch chat, of course. Come and chat with us about the race while it's going on. Get that interaction going, give your opinions. Obviously, we had that a little bit in the sprint race, of course. But yeah. Nice little community going on, and that's always the best way to work around it. But I think we're done. I think we're done for the week. See, we're not back next week as well.
Yeah, it's going to be sad to not see the F2 next week, but there will be a break. The F1 will still be on. So Saturday night next week, there will still be amazing quality content. So please be sure to be tuned in at 6 p.m. GMT for that as well. But in about 20 minutes, don't be going anywhere. Go get yourself a cup of tea, go to the toilet, whatever you need to do, get yourself ready, because we are not done yet. A full qualifying, 100% race, mystery track event with some of the biggest and best F1 creators, content creators around from all over the world, coming together for you guys, for this entertainment. I am absolutely buzzing for it. I can't wait. So yes, get yourself ready, folks, because we will be back momentarily with the F1. Tom, final words.
Don't go anywhere. Those are my final words. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have a really good evening's action. Mystery race, nobody knows what it's going to be. That's the first surprise you'll get. I'm sure there'll be a lot along the way as well. In the intermission, we've got the, 15 or 20 minutes between now and the start of the F1. We are going to show you the highlights of last week in case you missed them. So from myself, Tom, and from Scott, it has been an absolute pleasure this week. And we will hopefully see you in 2 weeks' time for the finale. See you then.
He looks like the Alpine is trying to string together something great. He's nearly a second up already, plus 8/10 of the realm. He could yet discover something in Sector 3 as well after achieving a 30.1 in Sector 2. This is certainly looking smart here for Hayden Gullis. He could yet stamp his ticket for a trip into Q2. The seconds are ticking. 3, 2, 1. That is the checkered flag. The end of qualifying. Hayden Gullis through to 13th fastest. Doesn't doesn't reduce Alex Gillen's opportunities there in that bottom half of the 10 that we have here in the 20. As now we have Zafso going 5th fastest for the Aston Martin. Incredible stuff. Now purple in the first sector from Chesnoid Gaming. Unreal. Where has he found that? A 21.843. The AlphaTauri bringing his best, saving it to the very last moment, Scott.
Indeed, and it looks like you might have been safe without it, but you know what? At least put that statement and get yourself ready for Q2. We have seen some big names knocked out. We've seen Meraki knocked out, Dave Gaiman and Fratic, Tom 97, and Taco Man as well in 16th. Tom, we're led to believe that Tom 97 was on hard, so that's not the worst positioning for him on the hards. We'll see what he gets up to in the race. As Chesnoid has a personal best sector 2, not purple, but still very quick for him, 29.8. He's coming through to that final section. Will we see any of the drivers rear off and have any accidents there? Hopefully not. Coming through to the finish line, what's it going to be? It's going to be 8th place with a 1:16.868.
Curbs now, looking to try and extract a little more himself. Personal improvements in the first and second sector. Looks for that additional delta to the inside. Not enough. 11th fastest. He will be out of qualifying. A 1:17.152. Higher than Noiguera, but it's not enough to land a place in Q3, but you never know. 11th place is not a bad place to start. Hayden Gullis currently at the very bottom of the pile. He's propping up the order. 15th fastest for the Giraffe as he now looks to try and cut through to the inside. Checkered flag now out as we look to now see the cars register their final laps. Can he extract more? No, he can't. 13th for the Alpine, a 1:17.257 with Chesnoid Gaming still searching for an improvement.
And Safso is not going to improve. It looks like this might be the end of his qualifying as well. The Rockstar will have to start somewhere around that 14th or 15th spot, depending on what Chesnoid can do. Noguera, someone that we looked at as being right up the top at one point, is in 13th. That car needs to get out of the way, needs to get the power down. There's nothing else he can do. We're coming through to the finish line. It's going to be a 1:16.4. Puts himself into 2nd place. Oh, George, he was nearly gone there. I feel sorry for Safso. I feel sorry for Hayden, for Curbs. Dale coming through. Can he get out? It's going to be a 1:16.8. Puts him in 9th. Alex Gillen is out, George. Alex Gillen is out.
Drama here as Mr. Dale manages to notch enough together to achieve a Q3 placement, knocking out Alex Gillen at the very last minute while the AlphaTauri prevails. The Red Bull sinks into obscurity. Fantastic work from Mr. Dale, and has now managed to once again achieve a fascinating, truly phenomenal Q3 visit. So that is all she wrote. The fastest of all, it's Rastin Chai at the very top of the order. Some incredible eliminees though, including Alex Gillen, including the Season 1 champion, Zafso, at the bottom of the pecking order in Q2 here, Scott. 21.628 in the first sector, met with a 29.337 in sector 2. Let's see what time he musters. A 1:15. That is unreal. 15.810. He does this though, doesn't he, folks? As now we see Michi Hoyer go 2nd fastest ahead of GB68. He registers a very slow 1:18.426. But even Michi Hoyer's time of 1:16.991, it is 1.1 to nearly 1.2 seconds slower than M Sky Z's blistering 1:15. Here comes Rastin Chai, 21.8 in the first sector, 30.0 in sector 2. Makes it a 2-3 for the Mercedes team. Mr. Dale, who managed to pull off a clutch lap to land himself a place here in Q3. He's looking also reasonably smart in the opening sector, but probably not quite as quick as Noiguera, who has gone 2nd fastest himself, a 16.3. Once again, trying to get close to M Sky Z. Can Dale put himself in the mix? 4th fastest, 1:17 flat coming across the line. But incredible to say that he's going back to M Sky Z's time. A 1:15.8. What a time that is. A blistering lap to open his accounts here in Q3. As we now see him make his way down through towards turn 15, the gulp corner. It's a big gulp indeed as GB68 looks to try and muster in something to enlist himself potentially in the top 5. A 21.7, a 29.6. What's it going to be? It's a P3, a 1:16.285. to enlist a time that is just within half a second, but that just goes to show mSkyZ's time is a monster, but Rasin Chai could topple it, as we know right on board with him. He's purple in the opening sector. Can he achieve it? No, he can't. Not even a 1:15 to boot. In fact, it's over 2.25 seconds, 2.25 tenths, should I say, of a second of the realm. mSkyZ's time, a sensational 1:15.8 that is not even being beaten or even in the precipice of being beaten.
Persia definitely wants this top spot, wants to share it with McLaren. McLaren's day has to get around this little bit of traffic coming through to the final corner, turn 15. Onto the straight. Look at that toe. I love to see it. Has it been enough? It's not been enough. It's going to be a 1:16.2, George.
A 1:16.2. It's not close enough even to Rasin Chai's time. Nearly 4 tenths away from mSkyZ. You do have to wonder whether Perja, if he was aided or if he was hindered in those dying moments now. Michi Hoyer having his own struggles. So 22.246 in the opening sector. 29.669 in sector 2 as well. That second sector is not too bad. The first sector, though, miserable as he now heads up towards the line. Can he find out something? No, he can't. Timothy Marduk coming up towards the line as well. He's also slower in the second sector, slower in the third, but a personal improvement in the first sector. Noiguera, who has a habit of pulling clutch laps together, he'll finish 6th fastest. We have got, though, El Ray Guri, who has gone 3rd fastest. An incredible lap from him. And Mr. Dale, who has just come across the line, managing to achieve a time that puts him 8th place, relegating Michi Hoyer right to the bottom, with also joining them right at the tail end as well, that guy Vince, who goes 9th fastest. But it's mSkyZ, fastest of all. The Frenchman has done it yet again, his 3rd pole position of the season, a 1:15.810, and the sole man in the 1:15s. Rasin Chai 2nd fastest, the championship leader, a 1:16.034, and just nearly 2.25 tenths away from mSkyZ. El Ray Guri 3rd, Perja 4th, Tiamat Marduk in 5th, GB68 6th, Noiguera in 7th place. Mr. Dale finished in 8th fastest, with that guy Vince in 9th, Michi Hoyer in 10th place. And it's pedal to the metal, and it is go, 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 and Rasin Chai getting a huge launch off the line, and immediately looks to try and tackle mSkyZ into turn 1. They're going to run wheel to wheel, but it's mSkyZ with the overall lead of the race. Rasin Chai, though, goes straight away, once again through towards turn 2, and out to turn 3 as they burst through Lagos corner now. It is still SkyZ out in front, and enter El Ray Guri, who's going side by side now into Tora Vip. It's El Ray, he's going to go for the double. Can he take the race lead on the opening lap? Wide goes mSkyZ, and on the escape they'll run wheel to wheel again. Who's going to take this one? Samson corner now elevates the drivers through the middle sector, and it's El Ray Guri with the lead on the opening lap from 3rd to 1st. He's done it this time. Lap 1 of 66, El Ray Guri in front, but here comes Rasin Chai here, Scott.
And Rasin is not giving up at all in this first lap. Has actually taken 2nd place off mSkyZ, who has struggled a little bit in this first lap. Also, a little bit of note on Noiguera in 20th place now. Something that's definitely went wrong. As we see, GB is also getting the jump on Perja. Rasin, SkyZ, El Ray in that lead. What an amazing first lap. We'll definitely have to see what is going to happen as they're basically line neck and neck. Rasin has crossed the line first, puts in that fastest lap, will take the lead. Quite crazy to see that at this moment in time. He is in first, he's looking strong. It's not the first time we've seen Rasin in first, but El Ray Guri and mSkyZ will not be taking no for an answer.
Yeah, very daring indeed now as we have a battle for the lead. El Ray Guri takes P1 away from Rasin Chai here on lap 8 of 66. Runs wide though, heading out of turn in towards turn 2 and towards turn 3. And El Ray Guri, despite taking the lead advantage, heading down towards turn 1, now running wheel to wheel. Once again with Rasin Chai, who responds brilliantly and manages to retake that lead advantage in the opening sector again. mSkyZ smells an opportunity, locking up the brakes. El Ray Guri, wider line taken by mSkyZ, and the sky's the limit here for mSkyZ, who pushes himself into 2nd, gets the nose of the McLaren in front, the whole car in front now as they circle through Samsung. 2nd place for mSkyZ. Rasin leads here in lap 8.
But El Riguri going for that move again on Skies. He has to watch that they don't slow each other down. Will he be able to do 2 cars at once? He will, before the even turn gets into that lead of the race on those medium tyres. We're looking at lap 9. Are those soft tyres getting a little bit rough now? Is the medium the better tyre at the minute?
As now once again we see an overtake of the lead, Racing Chai taking it back away from El Guri. A chance here for Tiamat Marduk, who runs wheel to wheel with M Sky Z, and almost a revisit from back in Austria last week alone. Tiamat Marduk in front of M Sky Z, and that's a sight that M Sky Z is not going to like, because Ben, remember, he's on medium tyres. Through the course of this now, and Tiamat Marduk already opening up the door with the DRS now opening up. El Guri now snatches back the lead advantage. He's been swapping with Racing Chai consistently through the course of the race, but obviously as this perseveres, this does not work in the favour of Racing Chai whatsoever. Will he have DRS? That's the big question. El Guri now across the line, commencing lap 13. Tiamat Marduk on the attack of Racing Chai as well, which is music to the ears of El Guri. Now 2 cars on medium tyres are now 1 and 2 in this timing tower, and obviously as a result of the battle, it's now put a near on 10th cushion on El Guri, which has now been instantly eroded by Tiamat Marduk, because he's now got to put the burners on and get back to within DRS of El Guri to give himself a chance at battling for the race lead here, Scott. As now he looks down the inside here of Tiamat Marduk. We're still running on board with him here at this stage. Now Tiamat Marduk is going to lose out on second place here, because M Sky Z committing to turn 1 has now taken P2 away, and is going to look to try and close up on El Guri to make it business as normal for M Sky Z. Remember, he started pole position at the start of the race, lost out very early on after a very decent start from El Guri, but now he has brought his softs back into the mix. Was it the case, Scott, that they were tyre saving earlier on? M Sky Z now going for the lead of the race and has snuffed out El Guri for that lead spot now, coming out of turn 1 and turn 2, and now entering turn 3 at Lagos. He leads the way at Lagos as well, coming out of turn 4. So it's the Papaya McLaren who is now at the head of the field up at the front end, as now in comes Alex Gillen, looking to go wheel to wheel now with Tiamat Marduk, the 2 rivals now, as we now see Alex Gillen responding straight away, a move he needed to make against a driver on medium tyres. Tom 97 has come into the pits. He's currently, remember, he came in P6. That's a huge call from Tom 97. He's the first from the leading train to come in and make a swap. No doubt this will be a stop onto medium tyres off the softs, and he'll be looking to come out and potentially undercut everybody else, which is a very smart move, because those on the softs, I would argue, are definitely past their prime. Tom 97 on fresh rubber will have an opportunity to potentially undercut, and we all know how good his pace really is. And yes, as if by magic, in comes M Sky Z, and I tell you what, look at the list of cars that are coming in. It's M Sky Z, El Guri as well, so we've got a driver that was on medium tyres now opting to change now. That's a really interesting call from El Guri here, Scott.
It is very interesting, because I would have thought the point was to stay longer. But then we have Alex, who is, I believe, on the soft tires. He's decided to stay longer. So we really have a lot of different strategy decisions coming into play. And I do like a race like this.
There's Tom 97 on the right-hand side. So where is he going to feature out of all this? Because M Sky Z has come out of the pits. But what about Racing Chai further down? Tom 97 has come out right between El Guri and Racing Chai. They met almost immediately now as they come over the crest and now take it down towards Tora Vip. Truly stunning. Tom 97 with a very decent strategy call, and he's got the warmer rubber. He's had a lap to warm them up, so a great chance to chip down this delta and at the same time overtake El Guri and M Sky Z. That is effectively net P3 here, Scott.
Oh, as Alex is coming into the pits, this is going to be interesting. I do think staying out that extra lap will have slowed him down. I do expect him to maybe lose a few spots, as we'll see the engineers putting on a new set of tyres. He's coming back out. Where will he finish? As we see Sky Z coming round to that final corner onto the straight. How well has this been for Alex? It's going to be very close. He's actually nearly at the end. It's going to be quite a move. Oh, as we have Elray. Go on, Alex has lost a few spots. Elray is taking the spot from Sky Z. Tom is right behind that, and we have Razin as well, and that has not worked out for Alex Gillen, has it?
Well, he's back in the train at the very least, but I can tell you this, that Tom97 is all over the back of mSkyZ here at this point now. They are now nose to tail as they now head down through towards Tora Vip. Wheel to wheel they stay. Tom97 elevates himself now up to P7. A great move. Net P2 and is now looking to chase after El Rey Guri for that net lead spot. This has been a truly stellar drive by Tom97 in this initial stint, lap 22 of 66, and Tiermet Marduk, he is following the strategy through, as is GB68, but at this point, Tiermet Marduk is the big question mark. Where will he come out in all this come the end of the race? To their name through the course of this race as well, and there's quite a few with warnings. Rasin Chai on the cusp of a penalty because he's got 3 warnings as well. Here comes Tiermet Marduk again, looking to challenge Tom97 like he did on the previous lap, this time heading through turn 1, and the Ferrari now second place and 1.4 seconds away from El Rey Guri, as now Alex Gillen also elevates himself higher than mSkyZ, 4th place for the Red Bull. To bring the Alpine down a peg or two. A mistake there from Alex Gillen. Oh, goodness me. Rear-ended, I think, as well. There was a little bit of contact with mSkyZ, I think, coming out of turn 3, which has uprooted Alex Gillen. And we've also heard that Noiguera has also crashed as well. So drama right through the grid order. I'm sure TK will go and check it out very shortly and give us a little bit of insight into that. But a huge moment here at this case, Scott. Alex Gillen, a huge moment out of turn 3.
Can he hold it long enough to maybe get some softs on? As we see,
coming
into the pit, 3 of them, George.
Yeah, incredible. Tiermet Marduk now stays out on track. We're now seeing Tom97, Rasin Chai, Alex Gillen all coming into the pits. Now, decision time. If you're El Rey Guri, he will pass them. He'll take his place second in the timing screen. mSkyZ will move up as well. A huge undercut on mSkyZ's part. He, of course, has got to go to the end of the race. But you've got to ask yourself, if you're El Rey Guri, what have I got to do? I'm in a conundrum here. On this lap, into the pits comes El Rey Guri. So the decision, oh no! 5-second time penalty